Oh no. Hold on. Sorry about that. Sorry, guys. Hello, one and all, and welcome. My name is Fear. This is Battle Vortex. And Mitzi's here. Which is the most important part of any stream, is that Mitzi is here. All right. So today, I am here. We're going to talk about the new event. And we're going to talk about some of the stuff going on with Crowfall. We also want you guys to know there is another podcast in town besides the Crowfall podcast, and it is called Crow Talk. That's me and whoever I'm talking to. Today, we're going to be talking with Extreme. So let's dig in, shall we? All right, so I don't know if Extreme's back yet. Let's see. Extreme, you back yet?
What's up?
Hello. Extreme is a guild member in a guild in Crowfall called, what is that called again? Dark Vortex, yes.
I don't know. Would you name the guild?
I thought we were going to rename it to something else. Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, something to synchronize or symphonize or something. Yep. Symphonize Vortex.
Oh yeah, it was something. Yeah, I think that was something like that. I'll have to think of it later. I know it was still DV. I just forget the combination.
Yeah, it was weird. But anyway, or maybe it was desynchronized or desymphonized.
No, I think it involved someone's name specifically.
Oh, okay. Well, we should probably not cross that line. But
yeah,
in any event, I think I can hear you, and I think the peeps can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can. You're very loud now. You're very good. So
I turned my gain up, and it's like Dino just joined us.
You got a lot of gain. So Dino's in here as well?
Yes.
Okay, welcome, Dino. I don't hear Dino.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just quiet.
Oh, good. All right, so we're going to talk about some stuff. Coin for my bitcher. Yeah, you're probably going to hear some bitching today, guys. I'm going to be honest.
A lot of it for me.
Yeah, so I don't have any indications on the screen for multiple guests, so you guys are just going to have to remember what they sound like and figure it out from there. Except for me, because you can see me talking, but you can't see them. So, let me close this. I have contraband on my screen. Hold on, I have a chat window open. Close that. Okay, no chat windows. Can't share that information. So the first thing, I guess, first things first. Let me find out what the first thing actually is. I don't even know. What the hell is it?
You had a list.
I do. Now if I can just find it.
Jesus.
I was not properly prepared for this.
Dude, it's your podcast. How can you not be prepared for it?
Well, because I make notes over a couple weeks or so at a time, because I don't do this weekly. I do it. I was trying to do monthly, but then their stuff came up, so, and an event came out, and I suppose everybody's thrilled about the event. So I guess first thing, I don't know that I would have drops or anything like that. So if you're here for the drops, probably don't have them, because I don't usually tell them. I never tell them when I'm going to stream, so they just don't bother. So, and I'm not that kind of affiliate. So, but I am an affiliate. There will be links in the about section below the video if you want to try Crowfall. But at the same time, we're going to bitch about it. But we still play it. We're just going to bitch anyway. So first of all,
constructive bitching.
That's correct. None of you guys have done any of the MPE stuff on the test center, right?
No.
So there's not much to report other than that they sped up. Like, the first things I noticed is that they taught you how to shoot your spells rather than trying to explain to you how to make a bandage and all that. They kind of skipped some of that. and went right to hey, press number 2 and do this and that. It's still not where I would like to see it. It's not as polished, but better. Like so far, it seemed better. Like they were trying to get people out in the world quicker.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like an improvement because.
Yeah, I told him it was like 1,000 times better than what it was before because it was just a hot mess. You were just running all over, setting your skills and all this stuff. It's like nobody wants to know about skills when they first start. I mean, okay, there's a false.
Disagree on that.
There's a small percentage of people that are that deep. Okay,
it's not so much wanting to know about it and be more like this is where they're at and this is how you can sit there and look at them at your own time.
Well, right. Yeah, okay.
The original tutorial didn't even bother with that.
No.
It never once tells you, hey, press this button to bring up all your different special attacks. You can see what they do, and you can decide what to do with them.
Right.
None of that was... So
that
is
was
an
a
improvement.
thing.
Yeah, so if they're doing that now, even if it's just, say, press K, and then they move on from there, I'm like, okay, it's an improvement.
It is. So, yeah, they're at least trying. I have a little bit of a reservation about, like, I know that the community manager, Tiggs, was asking about doing a wiki, and I'm thinking, well, there's already a wiki. It's just that it's ancient. You know what I mean? And, all the wikis and all the information about Crowfall are really old, and the game has changed quite significantly since then. And so probably the problem is that Crowfall doesn't have any control over those wikis because they were made by certain players that probably don't play anymore. So you know how that goes, right? So there's all this info out there, and they probably buddied up with Crowfall at the beginning and said, "Oh yeah, I'll make you a wiki," blah blah, blah. And then Crowfall never got control of it. So now they're kind of screwed as far as they're going to have to make like a Crowfall 2.0 wiki or something. You know what I mean? Because all that other stuff is just too old and it doesn't even make sense anymore.
Yeah.
So there's that. But I think that the NPE, and I've released several documents about this kind of stuff. The NPE, like I said, I think they really just need to simplify it, and they need to let people play. And currently, they don't really do that. They let people play, but then they're trying to push them into this campaign world that doesn't even make sense. So, like, if you join a campaign, say, if you join Shadow, say, next week, in a week that campaign's over, the user's going to be completely confused, like, what just happened, Why did I come in here and then everything's ending? Everybody's leaving. You know what I mean? I don't think that's right. That's why I think Sky Point needs a much bigger role in the whole thing, because the way they've got it now, it doesn't when you came back and you were like, should I get into the Shadows? And I was like, well, no, there's only 3 days left. What's the point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You would have spent all that time and you would have had to figure out all that stuff. And then you would have had to come right back out naked and figure out, like, why am I naked?
Yeah, that would have been annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the player not knowing how much time is left, when you click on the Shadows and Dregs, doesn't it still give you a timer of how much time is left in there?
Yeah, it tells you, but I mean, when you're a new player, are you even going to know what that means? Or are you just going to say, okay, and go? You know what I mean?
I don't know that one.
Dude, it took me a long time, and I did a lot of beta testing on this game, and it still took me a long time to wrap my head around, like, why do I even want to go to this other place? What does this other place offer me? There's no instructions, like, why would I even want to go to this other place? And a lot of the Dregs people don't even want a Shadow or a Sky Point or a Shadow to exist. So if you throw people into Dregs, they will quit immediately, and that's probably why the game is where it's at right now, because they all did that, right?
Let me ask this: why wouldn't Dregs want Shadow or Sky Point to exist?
Well, because they think that it's taking away from their potential content that nobody wants to do willingly, except for like a handful of people.
Okay, so how is taking away the ability for new players to learn how to play ruining the game?
Well, because the population's low, and they think it's low because they're able to go other places. And my argument is they weren't going to go there anyway. So you're not really losing anything.
I guess the thing I'm going for is like dregs are just morons. If they think taking away the learning area is good for the game, then they're just morons.
No, they think that the way you learn is they throw you in the boiling pot and then you get killed. Now, how many of my guildies did I have to get back after they tried that? All of them. Yeah.
You literally had to bribe me to come back.
Yeah, literally. I had to buy everybody castles, really. I did.
No, you bought me a castle, you bought me the game, and a VIP for a month. You went all out to drag my ass back into this game.
Yeah, it was not cheap for me. No. Okay, so, yeah, there's that.
I mean, but yeah, if Dreg's players' mentality is get good, then they need to get lost. Because that is just a moronic, stupid mentality that's going to kill the game faster than anything else.
Well, it already did. The game's already dead, right? So what are we doing now? All right. So it's already dead. I mean, there's no question it died. I mean, it got sold, and it wasn't even 6 months old. So that's pretty dead. I mean, that's a death. You know, their kill count, if you look on the leaderboard, the Crowfall kill count is 1 death, 0 kills, okay? That's what their score says. So, you know, knowing that, and as I was an investor, and I happen to like the team, so I'm still here because you know, I saw what the new owner had to say, and I liked what he had to say, and I believe him that he wants to make things better. However, they haven't started doing that yet. Yeah, we're still waiting on that. And you know, and our patience, you know, we're really patient guys as it is.
I'd say being fairly patient with this game given everything that it's not done.
Yeah, everything that it's not doing for us, yeah. So I'd say we're more patient than some, not as others, but we're just getting to the point where it's even getting difficult for me to like I can't afford any more stuff, right? So I'm done. I'm not buying anybody any more castles. Okay, that's it. I'm done with that. So they haven't done that yet. So anyway, the NPE, it needs a lot of work, and I feel like, okay, so what I feel like, my thoughts are that there's a lot of people that are still living in this bubble, like, if we just put it back to the way it was, everything will be all better. But that's not the case. The problem is that these kind of sieges and these large areas where people control everything, people don't really like that. When they have to work 3 times as hard or 4 times as hard to even be competitive on a small, ridiculously low level, that is not fun. Okay, I don't know why they think that anybody thinks that that's okay.
I don't mind the sieges and whatnot. It's how frequent they are.
Yeah.
Like one keep goes up every 3 days. That's about twice, 2.5 times a week or whatnot, and that's just one keep. And here the idea is you got to own multiple keeps, forts, and outposts and whatnot.
Yeah,
that's all the effort. I'd say the keeps. And first of all, the keeps, their sizes need to be standardized. Some keeps having a storage bank and others not is just stupid, in my opinion. But that's beside the point. But have those go up maybe like once a week. Forts maybe twice. And the outposts you can just leave alone because no one gives a shit about those. Those are
I love the outposts. I think those are the funnest thing in the whole game.
What I mean is they're easy. No, like they're not that big of a deal. I don't care how often you take an outpost from me. I'll just be back 5 minutes later.
Yeah,
that's not a big deal.
Well, some people complain about the flag flipping. I think the flag flipping's great. I think that's the best thing they made.
Without the flag flipping, you don't have anything to do.
Yeah, I mean, it just keeps you busy, and people get to chase you around. I had Son chasing me around at 2 a.m. this morning, just running their asses up and down the thing. They finally caught me, but it took them a while.
Yep. I'm not going to repeat this message word for word, but Nacho says your alerts are turned off.
What isn't my?
Your Twitch alerts.
Yeah, I probably haven't had those turned on in years.
No, he's.
But we did see your coin there. Thank you very much for your coin. I did see it.
2 bits.
But I don't have alerts. I haven't had alerts in years and years. So, and I'm not going to try to figure it out today. Maybe never. But thank you for the bits, Nachos. You are the arbiter of kindness and bits. A coin to your bitcher. So thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as keeps, I would say either reduce the requirements for building them up because they take forever. And
Well,
not everyone has that kind of time to sink into a game. Like I know I don't, especially during the week.
Well, let's be more specific now. Are you talking about? We haven't actually played in the dregs, so
No,
I don't want to cross that line too much because otherwise the dregs guys will. You guys don't know. Yeah. So all I want to talk about is like the shadows. So let's talk
I've
about that.
called Dregs morons, so I think we've crossed that line.
Yeah, we crossed the line, but that's okay though. That doesn't bother me as much. I mean, they can either like that or not. They're all supposed to be the thick-skinned ones, so they should be able to take a little bit of criticism there, right?
I mean, Drag Shadows.
They need to suck it up. Let's talk about shadows mostly.
Fine. Shadows then. Shadow keeps.
Yes, let's talk about those.
One siege every 2.5 to 3 days. And you're trying to defend multiple, and you're also sitting there straddling those time zones between EU, US, and Australia and all that. That's quite frankly a lot to manage. Most of the sieges I've done
It's a lot.
have either been where no one's been on to defend and all the attackers are there, or none of the attackers are there, or none of the defenders are there, or sorry, I flipped. None of the attackers are there and all the defenders are. It's been one or the other. It's never been, an actual siege.
Yeah.
So I'd say that needs to be addressed.
Well, yeah, they do. Yeah, mostly people, and this is just a tactic. We've all done it in every single game. You play when everybody else is asleep. That's the best time to win.
Yeah, but that defeats the purpose. The whole point of this game is supposed to be about big sieges and faction versus faction, guild versus guild, not you versus the clock.
Well, but here it is. I mean, what are you going to do if they try to make all the sieges in U.S. time? Then the Australians and the other ones are all going to complain because they can't participate. So they kind of have to do it that way, I think.
Figure out where majority of your player base is.
Well, that can change though, and they want to be world. Everybody wants to be global.
You're not going to make everybody happy. You got to pick your biggest group and go with that because your biggest group is the ones that can provide.
Well,
all the
what if
content
the biggest group is in the EU?
Well, then we better sit there and learn what time it is in Europe if you still want to play. I'll strip to
I like what you're saying. I think it's funny what you're saying because it's true, but I don't think that the devs are going to be like, oh, that's a good idea, But I understand what you're saying.
Ideas are practical, not necessarily ideal.
Yeah. No, I get that part, but I think the biggest problem with me is similar to what you're saying, but I think that in the shadow, as the shadow is intended, as far as I know, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, shadow was supposed to be a stepping stone from Skypoint, which they've completely destroyed now, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then
as will not exist
to the dregs. Well, now, they've basically screwed it. But so if shadow is intended to be a stepping stone, it does not need to be a carbon copy of the dregs. What it needs to be is a stepping stone. So it should have less things. So if small keeps are to stay, then we need better ways to manage them. And they also need to not be able to be manipulated by questionable mechanics, which we're not going to be specific on. But there are questionable mechanics that people use to get into the keeps before they're supposed to be able to. Because the way I look at it as you have steps. You go to the keep, you trebuchet or catapult the walls down, then you come in, and then you go after the wards, and then you go after the tree, yada, 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 right?
Yeah, and these questionable steps have been deemed
actionable, so we can report them. But the way you report things in Crowfall, that's another thing. Another whole topic we can talk about support is ridiculous. Okay, there's no one-stop shop for telling people what's going on. You have to go figure out somewhere, wherever, You got to figure out what your problem is, and then you've got to go figure out the coinciding place to post that. I think that's the most ridiculous thing ever.
I spent 30 minutes earlier going through all the forum topics, trying to find where I could post a bug / exploit I found in game, and all I could find was localization, which is basically just translating of languages.
Yeah.
And then bugs involving their website.
Yeah, I
nothing in game.
That's one of the things that is bugging me, and not to get too far off topic, but that's one of the things that's bothering me is, like, first of all, they're still using forums. Nobody does that. And then
there's nothing wrong with forums.
Well, some do, but I'm just saying the kids, they don't, the kids don't do forums. The kids do other things. So the Discord's good, but you can't do a full on, hot throttling post in the Discord as you could on a forum.
You need forums.
You do need them, but you need to be there. Need to be less of them and more of like an easier way for us to. Like, they need to do like player speak and not dev speak when they're talking. You know what I mean? You want we don't want to be developers. Obviously, we're not. So just speak to us normal. Hey, you got a problem? Report it right here. Oh, goody. And then we go say, hey, blah, 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 blah. And then I don't care if you got to hire somebody to move the post around. Just somebody should do that. I mean, I don't see why I got to, why I have to spend. I spend almost as much time in this game and figuring out stuff and ways to just talk about these things. It's like a full-time job. And, being a guild master and a community leader and all that at the same time. Yeah, I don't have a lot of time to sit there and figure out where does this go? Where does that go? What does this do? What does that do? I just don't. I feel like that's wrong. So anyway, and we can talk about that more in a little bit. But anyway, as far as shadows goes, I think the keeps, they need to get rid of the big ones. Period. They're just too big. There's
in shadow at least.
Yeah, just, for small groups and solo players, that just too much.
Standardize the size of them.
Yeah, we need smaller ones that are not able to be manipulated by stupid mechanics. Okay, I'm just saying, either everybody gets the mechanic. Well, I mean, either it's something that everybody can do or nobody can do. You know what I'm saying? It's just you can't have. This is not cool because it takes away. It's at first it's immersion breaking like a mug, because you're like, then you're not really in the battle anymore. You're trying to figure out, well, how come he can do that and I can't do that? What's going on here? Why is he able to do that? But they didn't do this other part first. Oh my God! How do we fix that? And then it just becomes where you're more concerned about what just happened. And if you want to report that, oh my God, you got to have the ability to record. You got to have the ability to edit, because they don't want full-length videos with timestamps. They only want clips. So now you got to be a video editor. And then you got to figure out where to post that information that you're trying to show to the devs. So yeah, it's a little tricky, but little keeps are probably the best way to go. And the outposts are great and the forts are great. Now, I think that the forts, let's talk about the forts. What do you think about the forts?
Well, real quick, if they're going to sit there and standardize the size of keeps to the smaller ones, if forts can have a world bank, those small keeps damn well better have one too.
Yeah, I think initially, I think what they were trying to do is they were putting small forts near the keeps, but that doesn't always work out. That doesn't translate well.
No.
So I think they should have the keeps in them, and they could be more built. I wouldn't agree with that
statement either, because if you go to some of the actual siege worlds, as they're called, there are no forts. It's just like this one I'm looking at right now. It's just
but the large keeps can have a bank in them.
That defeats the purpose. That's my point.
Yeah, I think that if they're gonna, and I know that they said something about there's 5 different kinds of forts or something, but it's like, nobody cares. We just want the fort. We mostly just want the points. I don't know why this is such a hard thing. We want the points. Building them up is completely worthless, because the dregs guys, they get bored or whatever because they're having such a great time over in the dregs. They come down, they rip the forts to shreds, and then so all those hours we spent trying to get the, to fight over the resources, to fight over this, to fight over that, and then finally get it all set up. Oh, three dregs guys come down fully geared to do testing, and they basically shred everything you worked on. I don't know why I have sparkles on
to do so that are technically actionable. So
what is that sparkly thing? I've never seen that. There's this thing sparkling on my character. I'm trying to figure out, is that a reflection? Is that their attempt at reflection of light?
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm going, what is that? I've never seen that before.
I know.
I'm just running around on top of the bank while I'm talking to you. Sorry. So yeah, really, really weird. So this is the character that most people have a head for. So if you've not gotten your Cardinal Fear head, trust me, I've given out at least 34 now, I think. So we're good. Got lots of free advertising. That's what I look at it. So forts, I think forts are going to be, they may even need to be built as well, just because there's no value to defending them. And it's very hard to defend them unless you're a Dregs player, which knows how. Nobody defends them. Even when we've tried, the Dregs players just come in, they thrash the wall in 20 seconds, and then they just beat the shit out of us multiple times. And then they take the fort.
We had, I think it was 5 or 6 of us at one point, and three Dregs came in.
Three Dregs guys just wiped us like over and over. And then they didn't even bother with it. They went back to the Dregs or whatever the next day. And okay, so they just kind of left. So then, one of my other guys comes by, like Dino or somebody, and then rebuilds them all. And I'm like, why'd you do that? Because typically that's what you would want to do. But then the next day, somebody, the Dregs guys just came by again and said, oh, and by the way, this is why you don't build the walls. So we learned some valuable lessons. So now most of the forts just stay there with no walls or a hole in them, should I say.
Yeah.
And they stay at level 1 because there's no point in building them. So we stopped building them, but we spent many, many hours on keeps and forts.
Yeah, even if they're non-dregs, get enough players, because at that point it's just numbers, and they'll still go through them real quickly if no one's there.
Yeah.
To defend.
Yeah. So basically and we're in the middle of a campaign now, so there's basically 2 weeks left, right? So probably like 15 days, I think it is.
Yep, 15 days.
Yeah, so that's basically 2 weeks. So we have kind of decided now, why are we bothering?
We've done a lot of criticizing, though. What would you think would be a good change to sit there and help this along? Because we've done a lot of criticizing and very little critiquing, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, we already said, so we think that the small keeps could stay. They need some adjustments so that there's no shady tactics going on with the script, right? If the script is intended to do this, then let's fix that so it does those things, right? And then obviously it would be nice if they included a bank. And the only thing we should really have to build is maybe the bell towers and the guards.
Yeah.
And then really anything else, nobody cares. Like, I only noticed that one person I saw actually used the pack pigs, but for the most part, nobody uses pack pigs.
So here's what I would like to see, actually, now that I think about it. When you take a keep, the land plots are already predetermined. And some of the stuff I would never bother building up, like the caravan thingy for the pack pigs.
No, that's what I'm saying. Nobody uses them.
Because it's
nobody understands that shit. Yeah, nobody understands that.
One pig gives you like 2 stone. All right, so basically your resource is predetermined, and it's a crappy amount.
Yeah,
I would say get rid of the predetermined plots, except for obviously the tree and I guess the bell tower, because everybody wants that.
Well, and it was nice because we didn't have to build wards. It came with wards.
Yeah. After that, and the mechanics are already in the game because you got the vendor inside the keep. Let us choose what we want to put in our forts.
That would be nice too, to let us put what we want.
Yeah, let us choose, because if you're not going to sit there and give us the option to upgrade the barracks to where we get better guards, not just of not just pouring stone and metal and wood into it to upgrade the building, but the guards that come out of it themselves. If you're not going to give us the option to do that from a predetermined plot, let us go put in the resources to buy said blueprint and put it down ourselves.
Right. I'm away from my mic, so nobody else can hear me but you.
Okay. So I mean that'd be my opinion, because I mean some of the stuff is useful, and other things I'd be like, never get built in any of the keeps. Like and every keep I've been to, whether I'm defending or sieging,
Yeah.
barracks, bell tower. That's it. That's all.
That's all anybody builds. Yeah, right. And I keep saying that, and people are like, "What?"
The World Bank has got the option, but if it doesn't, then no one even bothers with it, because why? Why bother? So that's my opinion. Take away the predetermined plots and give us the option to put what we want down inside the keeps. I think that would be a good change.
And get rid of the big ones. We're both agree on that, right? Get rid of the big ones. They don't need that crap.
Well, for Shadow.
For Shadow, yes, not for we're not talking about dregs.
Well, I'm just speaking about keeps in general. If you're going to give us the option to put down what we want, then that gives the player an incentive to actually give a rat's ass about the keep, because they're going to be putting in the time and effort.
Well, what about the problem that even though we do all this, that these groups come in from these overpowered groups are just coming in and tearing everything to shreds, and we can't even stop them. We can't even beat them. We can't even hurt them in many cases. I mean, Nacho was saying he was dropping, 1,300 points a pop on some of these guys, and it wasn't even effective. I mean, they're coming in with their food and their jewelry and all this stuff, and we can't even touch them.
I mean, at that point, that's just being, for the most part, gear carried and a little bit of skill. There's short of the only solution that immediately comes to the top of my head is if you put a character in dregs, your account is then locked to dregs for the remainder of the campaign, and that's going to piss everybody off. Nobody's going to want that. They're going to want to be able to go back and forth, because they get bored.
Because I mean, even we like to do that a little bit, but only for stealing.
Yeah, but I mean, because they're going to get bored otherwise, and it's even in the forums. If you go look, there's a lot of posts going, dregs is boring as shit. I have no motivation to play. Blah blah blah. So unfortunately, there really is no real solution to that, without sitting there and pissing off the remaining
the
players.
The last 12 of us are going to be really mad. So that was a joke, sort of.
Yeah.
Kind of. Sorry, not sorry. What did you say, Dino?
Well, they level capped the Sky Point to 30 once they level capped the Shadow to 33.
Isn't that the minimum level to join? Or are you talking about level capping, so if you're over that level, you can't go in?
Yeah, if you're over level 33, you can't go in the Shadows.
I don't think they level capped.
From using alt character, though.
Yeah, I don't think they level. Did they actually level cap Sky Point to that?
No, I think that was a suggestion.
I think what they did is they level capped the mobs.
What he's saying is he's suggesting level cap your character, so if your character is over a certain level, you can't go into it. But the problem is because someone's just going to use an alt.
Right, and that's not a big a problem until they overgear the shit out of them. So they come in and they'll say, "Oh, I'm just testing my new character," but that new character's geared like it's 400 years old. So I mean, that to me is kind of a bullshit thing that Dregs guys like to do, just to, we're just testing, and it's like, you're not testing. You already know what's going to happen.
Instead of doing a level cap, take a page from Black Desert Online and use gear score.
Gear score would be nice, actually.
Gear score. If your gear score is over a certain level, then you can't go into...
Or you can't wear that gear. You can still go in there, but you can't wear it.
Yeah, so that way someone's not bringing in, level 33 or 35 character-based gear into an area that's mainly designed for those who are level 30 to 32 or whatever.
Right. So now that seems more fair to me.
Yeah, because then that way you can sit there and you can bring your character wherever you want, but the gear has to match the area. I think that would be an interesting idea.
Yeah, and I don't even know why. Like in the Shadows, I don't really think anything higher than War Tribe is even necessary. But I understand people want nice, fancy gear and all that, but it's not really necessary. I mean, you can still play the game without it. We do it all the time. Here, look.
Yeah, I mean, you
See?
can, and to some extent, you're gonna. I mean, that's what I'm doing right now. All my gear is war tribe because everything else is broken.
Well, yeah, you get it all broken, and then yeah, like we spend for us, 60, 70,000 a pop for a sword is pretty expensive. So, like, if we bring a sword with us, I brought this sword that I'm wearing now with me, and it's crafted. It's not the greatest one in the world, but that sucker's almost dead. I mean, it's not even going to make it to the end of the campaign, and it's just a grinder sword. I still spent probably 30K on it though, or whatever it was, just because I wanted something that was nice. I wanted to be able to kill the guards a little faster because I'm an outpost whore, and so and because I know that once I kill a guard, it tells the whole zone. So I was trying to like get it to where I could hurry up, and get out,
Yeah.
just get my points and go. And so that's the whole meaning of that. So, but every time I get killed, man, it wrecks all my stuff. Like this is like the gear I'm wearing now is like my fourth set, since I've been here. And that's just from the PvP part. So it's kind of, I don't know, man. It's just, yeah, I think the gear score idea is not terrible though. I don't know. I don't know what Crowfall's position would be on that, but
I don't know either, but
I don't want to block people from
coming.
coming in, but I do want to block them from being like so OP that we can't kill them. Because, I hear, I put up a post about something the other day and the guy's like, oh yeah, but if you just take 6 people, I'm like, 6 people? When do you get, what do you mean 6 people? We're lucky to get 2, and that's only on certain days.
6. Early on in the campaign, we could get 6 people easily because everybody was playing.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, unless your guild has 6 people.
And they're on all the time.
It's a bit more difficult to pull off.
I think we have 8 people in our guild, but only like 3 or 4 of them are really active. Where the rest are like, they come and go, which is fine. No problem there. Just saying, it's just, this isn't like, when I was a lot younger, it was easier for me to play a lot more. But even back then, I had a day job, but I just didn't need any sleep. Nowadays, I got to go to bed a little bit earlier. So
yes, I can no longer stay up until like 11:30, 12, get 6 to 5 hours of sleep, and then be good to go the next day.
Oh no, we were up till 3, 4, 5 in the morning and getting up at 6, 7 in the morning to go to work. We didn't ever sleep. There was no sleeping because if you sleep, then everything will be gone when you wake up in the morning. Because that's how everybody plays since like the dawn of time. They always play against the clock, and I would love to have it to where everybody played all at the same time, but that's never going to happen. Especially not even if you're in the United States. There's still time zones, right? So there's still going to be this, shift in certain people can only play till this time or that time or whatever. You're never going to get that right. I don't think that that's ever going to be right. But in the meantime, what we want to curb is just we definitely hate cheese, and some of the keep procedures are cheesy. And then, like I said, the forts are just kind of worthless. I mean, we built those forts to level 10 multiple times, and 2 or 3 dregs guys would just come in and shred them. So
I'm worthless. I'm not opposed to dreg guys coming in here. All right,
I'm not opposed to it. I'm just saying there's just nothing. It doesn't make it fun for us if we're spending all the time to build these things, thinking we're doing good. Hey, we built a fort, our first fort, and then 2 days later somebody goes, and you're like, oh. Yeah.
My issue is Shadows has become the new Sky Point because of one choice the devs made, which I think was.
Well, you can talk about it as that stupid thing where they took away the green discs out of Sky Point.
Yeah, so your exploration discs in Sky Point no longer drop, and your combat discs and from Tainted Hills are completely worthless. There is 0 value to them. You can't sell them, you can't sacrifice them, you can't upgrade them.
You have to throw them away. I don't know why they think that that's okay.
And why they think the drop rate of them.
Yeah, and yeah, so now you have to do 1,000,000 hours of housekeeping to throw away things on the ground because they're worthless. You can't do anything with them. And the Sky Point is supposed to be their training area. It still is their training area, except
Really?
that you can't train on half of the shit now because you can't even get green discs to train to see how to make them into blue ones, which I think is completely ludicrous.
And it wasn't in the patch. Well, a lot of this actually wasn't in the patch notes. The thing with the disc wasn't in the patch notes. I'm convinced that the drop rates of your mats from Sky Point has been nerfed.
Yeah.
And so I've done gathering in Sky Point, Shadows, and Dregs now. Sky Point I don't even bother with anymore, just because there's zero use to it.
Yeah.
From any perspective, whether it be a new player, veteran, whatever, there's 0 point staying there. Shadows, and this is so. For example, I went skinning, and I had a purple skinner, blue belt, and a fairly decent advanced skinning knife, and I'm getting next to nothing while skinning. Granted, it's not a hot zone, but so I'm not expecting a pinata burst of skins.
A pinata.
But at the same time, I'm hoping to get a little more than 3 skins off a goddamn yak that's 5 times my size.
Yeah, I get you.
I feel like they sat there and they took the Sky Point rates and put them in Shadows. And when you go into Dregs, oh my god, you can go in there with no buffs and shitty gear, and the drop rate's amazing.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it's the Dregs, so you're a kill on sight off with everybody. I can't tell you how many times I went in there to go do some gathering and nothing else. And some jackass is portal camping because he's got nothing better to do. Or she. So it's like, all right, I don't want to go into Dregs because I can't get anything done.
Yeah.
Shadows is now Dregs' punching bag, and its gathering is just as bad.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. Shadow is Dregs' punching bag. I like that.
And Sky Point may as well not exist.
Right. There's zero reason to go there now.
Yeah, so I don't know why the devs decided that change was a good idea. I don't care if they want what they want their game to be. You cannot force the pace at which your players play at, because that's just going to drive them away and piss them off.
Oh, it does. It does in droves. You can see there's not miles and miles of lines waiting to get in here. There's no queue times in this game.
Yeah. With that said, what they did with Sky Point, I see what they were trying to do. So their idea was there. The execution was horrible. What they probably could have done better was leave the green exploration disciplines there, because the drop rate for them on Sky Point wasn't exactly the best.
It was pretty abysmal, right? Yeah.
With all your upgrades and buffs, it was still pretty abysmal. I think I went 3 hours before I got one. All right. And to upgrade them is an absolute royal expensive pain in the rear, especially on Sky Point where the gold drop is next to 0.
Yeah.
So I leave that alone. And as far as the common combat discs you get from Tainted Hills, their drop rate is so massive that make them worth something, 1 gold or 1 experience or something. Hell, do what you do with the Hellcat coins, where once you get to level 30, they don't give you anything. So if you're sub-level 30, at least make them worth some XP for sacrificing.
Something. Or, something. At least 1 EXP or 1 gold or something, anything.
I mean, newer players have something to do there while they learn the game. Yeah. And I can't prove this, so I could be completely off base and just having some really rotten luck, but I saw Shadows drop rates, not quality of materials, just number of materials, needs to be slightly buffed. Right? Because, like I said, Dregs, I was getting plenty of materials. I mean, I was getting a lot of common, a good amount of green, and a fair amount of blue and purple, respectively. I mean, I wasn't getting a ton of blue and purple, but I was getting enough to where after an hour or two, I'd have about, 60 blue, an absolute metric ton of common, like 100 and some odd green, and maybe 10 or 20 purple. All right, after an hour of Dregs, that's respectable. Shadows, grind for an hour. I got a lot of common.
Yeah.
Couple greens. That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the common has can't be mashed with anything anyway. So,
you can't
even do any. Oh, you're talking about skin.
Just a gathering. Well, gathering in general, I should say.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that the drop rates are huge in Dregs either, because I haven't.
They're a lot better. They're a lot better.
Are they?
Well, what the deal is that the shadows, there's only a couple of spots on the entire all the map that have level 8 uh, nodes, and the rest of them are 6s and 7s. Well, 6s and 7s are in freaking Sky Point, so they have the same drop rate to Sky Point.
Oh, I
It's
see.
the level of the ore that makes the big difference.
Okay, I'm not even talking about.
So if you have the same level in Sky Point as you do in the shadows, it's going to drop the same amount of stuff, which means no disciplines, no nothing like that. So
Okay, so then they need to change that. They need to change that in
Yeah.
Shadows. Shadows should not be comparable to Sky Point on any level. 'Cause
Nor
if that's
should
the
it be the same as Dregs, if that's what their intention is.
Yeah, if that's the case, if Shadows is comparable to Sky Point, then I'm going to take all my disciplines and everything that I've got at the current level. I'm going to go back to Sky Point where I can kick the shit out of anyone who pisses me off while I'm trying to gather and go gather there in safety.
Yeah.
And also, if I do happen to die, well, the drop rate of my inventory is 0. You're not going to get anything off me because I'm not carrying gold on me while I'm gathering.
No.
So
Nobody does that.
Shadows is comparable to Sky Point, then Shadows needs to have its drop rate for gathering materials slightly buffed. I'm not saying make it like Dregs where it's dropping an abundance of everything and the qualities are amazing, whatnot. But at the same time, again, when I'm using a purple skinning discipline with a blue belt and an advanced skinning knife, who's, I think, what was it? Should to me, the skinning harvest thing, whatever it was like 30 something, and the critical chance was like 3 or 4%. And I'm getting 3 commons out of the whole damn animal. That's not right.
Right.
That's not right. So that needs to be adjusted as well. So
Yeah, so I don't do a lot of crafting stuff, but I get what you're saying. So
speaking of crafting,
speaking of craft, what do you want to talk about there?
Should we jump into the holiday
Should we
event?
jump into the holiday event? I'm happy to be standing in front of the lovely vendors.
Yeah, I'm right next to you. Oh,
I did want to say that at least this time they added an actual extra vendor. They still make us do the starting of the event on the mystery vendor, which still makes no sense to me. I guess having 2 NPCs was just hard. So, so they just still use this guy. Oh, and I wanted to just pass along a quote and my response to, I guess Blix Tev, which is the lead designer. He said, holiday events are not usually on the schedule. It takes many weekends and all these hours to put these out for you guys. And I thought, well, that's amazing. I love that. I'm glad that he did that. But then I started thinking, well, why isn't that on the schedule?
Yeah, hold on. You're telling me an event that's based around a holiday is not on your calendar, even though it's on everybody else's calendar.
Yeah.
Every year it comes around the same day every year, and you're not planning for that.
I wasn't sure I understood that. So what I said was, I was like, hey, man, that sounds like there's a scheduling problem. That's what I said.
If you're telling me that you don't have something planned, okay, I'm not sure how to respond
this
to that.
is an MMO, right? As far as I know, this is an MMO. So every MMO ever has holiday events. So I'm not sure why that wasn't on the schedule.
Yeah, can you say the quote one more time? I want to make sure I heard it correctly.
MMO, is that the word that's confusing?
No, I want to make sure I understood the quote correctly. Can you say it one more time?
Where he said it's not on the schedule, but he had to work weekends and stuff to make it happen. And I thought, well, that's great. I mean, I appreciate that he did that, but why the fuck isn't it on the schedule?
How are you not preparing for?
Yeah, how are you not doing that? I don't understand that. So what I'm hoping is that Monty, the new owner, is going to see that and go, oh yeah, we need to schedule that. Why the hell didn't we do that? Because if he needs help at this point, they just got funding. I mean, I'm not going to have any sympathy anymore. If they've got new funding and a new team and all this stuff, they need to step on it. Pitter patter.
Let me help you guys out then. You made it. You made Valentine's Day. You pulled it off. Great job.
Yeah,
Since
we
you
got it.
clearly have trouble planning ahead, let me tell you, March 17th is St. Patrick's
Yeah,
Day.
you might want to have a St. Patrick's Day one ready for
All right,
that.
you don't have to have special drops or anything like that. Just sit there and, just throw some green streamers around the temple or something.
Yeah, do something.
Yeah, you don't have to have a full-on event.
We
Just
need
throw in some
beer. I mean, you got
decorations.
to have beer and green beer and
Yeah,
right. Don't we have like don't they do sausages or something too, or some kind of
that's beer.
bratwurst or something?
That's
Oh,
Oktoberfest.
okay. Well, we'll get to that later then. That's
That's
another holiday you should plan for that one now as well too.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you have to have a drop in the game, if you have to, all right, here's my idea for St. Patrick's Day. Whether you're out PvEing through killing stuff or gathering, whatever, have the drop be like a little four-leaf clover, okay? And all it does is, we'll say, boosts your luck. So it increases the drop chance of rare items for like
Oh.
a certain amount of time. Very simple.
Hmm.
Doesn't require a lot of planning.
Do you need
It doesn't-
a development
doesn't
job? I heard they
require-
have an opening.
Yeah, it's very easy to do, okay? And it doesn't require 20 steps and a metric ton of crap, literal crap, to make one thing. And if you're lucky, you might get the number of things out of the other thing you want.
Well, let me before you get into it any further, let me just go over this. Let's just start from the beginning and then we'll get into
Okay.
that.
Alrighty.
Stay calm, breathe.
Yeah. All right, here. I'm going to pop my water off real quick before I burst a gasket.
Yeah, don't burst the gasket. At least not yet. So this is the thing: is when you want to start this event, no instructions, mind you, unless you happen to be a member of the forums or the Discord or anything external. There's no internal. I can't figure that part out. Why don't they ever put the instructions in the game where people are at? But anyway, it's neither here nor there, I guess. So you have to buy this harvesting toolkit, the flavonoids, holiday harvesting toolkit, which conveniently goes into this nice little flavonoids holiday event tool slot, which I thought this was where they were going to let us put like the pumpkin heads, but apparently the pumpkin heads can't go in there because I thought they were going to let us wear the pumpkin heads so we could wear the pumpkin heads and a helmet at the same time, but I was wrong about that. And anyway, so you get the flavonoid, the Flava Flav thing here, and then that allows you to, when you're out in the world and you see green leafy things, which I think this kind of talks about that a little bit, grants chance to harvest flavonoids when harvesting plants in the dregs or shadow non-temple zones. Flava what? All I know is green leafy plants taste good. Elkin Farmer.
Flavonoids.
Yes, that's a great joke. But the thing is like there's a lot of things you can pick in the world. It doesn't really tell you which ones you got to do. But I know mushrooms don't work.
It just says plants.
Yeah.
So mushroom. Okay, so I guess they're assuming the majority of their player base knows the difference between a fungus and a plant.
I guess, but
Mushrooms are
that's
fungus.
yeah. But
As far as I'm concerned, they're not considered plants. All your plants would be your flowers and your onions and your whatnot. So,
yeah. Well, I would just say
ginseng.
they should just anything you can pick up off the ground should just give you a chance. But that's just me.
I think it's anything really.
Yeah, anything really should do it. So okay, so that's and then you also have these potions, right? So this potion, the super saturated sugar solution, doesn't really tell you how to work it at all anywhere in here. But basically it grants you the super sugar solution additive in when you're crafting a chocolate bar recipe, which everybody knows how to do that, right? Wrong. So
No.
obviously this is not for combatants at all.
I totally forgot to add that into my calculations. I'll explain that later.
Okay, well, you're going to have to because I am totally confused. So, hey, Groovy Cool, what's up, man? So then when you get to a certain point, I suppose these are the rewards. So they actually put in an actual rewards vendor this time, which was nice. They probably should have had another vendor that had instructions on what the hell's going on in the other one. But all right, because this was a weekend project. We'll cut them a little break, right?
Yeah.
We can figure this out. We've got all the kinds of time on our hands in the world, right? So we figure it out. This is the things you can get. The charm heart of the crafter, and it increases something and does a thing. And I don't know what these coins are. Cosmic sours, which I'm assuming you have to build, and all these things. So there's all these rewards you can get. And I do like the design of the heart in the vendor. That's really cute. This is how I want to be able to put skulls in my vendor, of all the skulls of all the scumbags I've had to kill from the dregs. And then am I pushing buttons now? Nah. Okay. So they know I'm lying anyway. I've got more deaths than they even know what to do with. They're like, man, he does a lot.
They have enough of our skulls to build a pyramid out of them.
Yeah, they could build this temple.
I'm jealous.
This temple should be built out of my skulls by now. So in any event, that's how you start, which I don't understand too. Why do they charge you so much to get started? Why do they make you go get all this money?
Well, in fairness, in Shadow, and I know I'm kind of being hypocritical on this because last time I talked about gold, I was bitching about how hard it was to get, but in Shadows, it's pretty easy to get.
But if we're new players, though, is it really?
Yeah, okay. It really is.
All right. I mean,
well, then I'm of the mentality of if I can't wear it, sell it. I'm not one of those guys who hoards everything, thinking maybe I could use it sometime in the future.
Oh, now you're poking at nachos.
Maybe. Anyway, so yeah, for me, it's easy to get gold because I sell everything.
Okay. Well, I'm just curious why they charge at all to get started on an event. I don't understand that part exactly.
Yeah, I mean, 1750.
I mean, seriously, when I play World of Warcraft and there's an event, I don't remember ever having to buy anything to do the event. I just kind of do it.
Yeah.
It just kind of exists, and then you come back with all your stuff. And
this whole event, I have an issue, like many issues with. And
let's talk about them. What kind of issues do you have?
Well, first thing, as you mentioned, is buying stuff to get started. In any other game or MMO I've ever played, when there's an event around, I never had to buy anything. It was, hey, this has been added to the loot pool as a drop.
Yeah.
Fetch.
Yes.
There's nothing. I didn't have to go buy anything. And okay, very nice, nachos. I miss you too. I never had to sit there and go buy anything to activate the drop, so that's one annoyance.
Mm-hmm.
The next annoyance is then you have to once you get that, you have to go gather a bunch of flavonoids, which, from what I've been told, the drop rate is absolutely horrendous, especially since you're limited on what gives you the drop in the first place. So you have to go hunt and peck for plants, which you think are pretty easy to find until you start looking for them.
Yeah,
that's how it always works. And they have to get a certain number of those to, let me get to a safe spot real quick because I'm running around. So let me get to a spot where I can just read off my list.
I'm hanging out with Groovy Cool here at the mystery vendor.
All right. So let's see. You have to go through a huge list of crafting stuff in order to get something called a bowl of hard candy. And opening up the bowl of hard candy, it gives you something called Cosmic Sours. The Cosmic Sours is your event currency that you use to redeem your prizes. All right?
Oh, God. Yeah?
Yep. All right. 1 second. I'm doing a couple things at once here.
I think I have to take a nap. Can we pick this up in about an hour?
There's an item in there that you can redeem for 200 Cosmic Sours, okay? So let's say you wanted the 200 Cosmic Sours item, whatever that is, right? These bowl of hard candies will drop anywhere from 3 to 10. It's completely randomized, but let's just say you are lucky as shit, and every time you open one up, you get 10. That means you need 20 bowls of hard candy, which means you need, I think it was like 2 Snog Gobblers, 5 lemon drops, and 3 rock candies. Well, in order to make those, so let's see, for 1 lemon drop, you need 1 simple syrup, 1 malic acid, and 6 dust.
Uh-huh.
Oh, now we gotta go make the malic acid because that's in there. Well, to get 5 malic acid, you need 2 apples, 2 war tribe coins, 18 dust, and 2 water flasks. And Point is, you just need a fuck ton of stuff. All right.
What the hell?
All right. In order to make the simple syrup, you need 4 sugar cane, 3 water flasks, and 18 dust, and that gives you, 5 syrup. All right. So, in order to get your 20 bowls of hard candy, in order to get your 200 cosmic sours, you're going to need 14 malic acids and 26 syrup. So that's 28 apples, 28 corns, 252 dust, and 28 waters, and 104 sugar cane, 78 waters for the syrup, and another 468 dust for that as well. I'm going to skip to the end because I'm pretty sure I'm putting you all to sleep. Your total to make everything you need, assuming you get 10 out of every bowl you open, 28 apples, 28 War Tribe coins, 104 sugar cane, 106 water, 1,460 dust, 30 roasting sticks, 80 flavonoids, good luck, 2,930 gold, and that will give you everything you need to make your 130 syrup, 70 acids, which will give you your 20 gobblers, your 50 lemon drops, your 30 rock candy, which will give you your 10 bowl of hard candy, and if you're a lucky son of a bitch, you will get your 200 cosmic sours out of those 10 bowls. But hey, no one's that lucky. So what does that mean? Means you're probably fucked and you got to get a lot more than that because that's banking on a perfect drop.
Oh my God.
I'll sit there and copy paste that list of things to anyone who wants it. I did all the math for you.
Oh my God! You should put that on the Discord right away. No, I think that there are other people having this conversation, and all I could remember was that like Blix wasn't having it. That's why I think he went into his tirade about this has to be done on the weekends. I'm like, dude, you didn't have to make it that complicated, dude. Seriously, who the hell's gonna do this? I know Dino's going to do it because he wants whatever the toy is at the end of he wants the candy prize at the end. But
speaking of which, one thing I missed, because the material you have to go out and gather that has a very bad drop rate and is very limited.
Yeah, the flavonoid things. I was just showing those.
80 of those for assuming you get a perfect drop.
Yeah, now I've been picking stuff. I picked stuff for probably 4 or 5 hours, and I've got 9. So
okay, so that means let's just sit there and say you got 10 in the course of 5 hours. You need 80 of them. That means you 45 hours. 45 hours is how long it's gonna. 10 over the course of 5. Wait, hold on. You said you got 10 in how many hours again?
I'm just saying I've been playing. We started playing at 8 o'clock in the morning, so 9. So about 5 hours because we got done about 1, right? And
okay,
I'm not just doing that though. I was doing other things because you can't just go find stuff on the ground. But
I'm trying to do math in my head and that doesn't work. So you got 10. Let's just say you got 10 in 5 hours. Okay, so you need 80 of those. Sorry, 40 hours. 40 hours is what it's going to be.
That's a whole work week, and you get 2 weeks to do that in.
Yeah, and that's okay. And that's assuming. Okay, that's just assuming for one item that you get a perfect, drop of 10 on each bowl. You're not going to get a perfect 10 on each bowl. You're just not. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with these guys in RNG, man. There's so much RNG in this game. It's ridiculous.
When it's a 3 to 10 drop range, you're probably going to get, if you're lucky, anywhere between 5 to 7.
Right.
Optimistically.
Yeah. Wow, man, that's intense. I mean, yeah, I've got the flavonoids. I got a few of them. But like I said, I started playing them around 8 o'clock this morning, and we got done before we did this stream just before 2, but I was just, clipping off an hour. But, it's just, I didn't do that the whole time, like I said. But, I mean, I picked up a lot of stuff. So I picked up I tried to get as many green leafy things as possible.
Okay, so that wasn't a straight 5 hours?
Well, no, because we were doing other things this morning.
Okay, so...
But, I mean, anytime I saw anything, especially Nightshade, I would stop and...
Okay, so you'd still stop and pick them up whenever you saw
it? Yeah, whenever I saw it, sure.
Okay, so we can still call that about a 5-hour straight run because you're still running around the map doing things and you're stopping every time you see a flower to pick it up.
Right, yeah. I stopped all over the place, yeah.
Comparable enough. Wow, my game is just having an absolute fit right now. Twice now it sent me back to a loading screen.
I just did 3 bowls of candy. and I got three cosmic points for each one.
Wow.
Is that
You got-
bad?
Yeah, 3 is the minimum. 3 is
Oh.
the bare minimum.
Okay.
So, okay, Dino, how much time have you put in so far to make everything to get 3 bowls?
Probably about 3.5 hours, 4 hours.
Okay, so we'll call about
Straight event.
just
Nothing
doing
else
it
but straight event.
straight event. Okay, so we'll call about 3 hour or an hour per bowl. All right. So 1 hour per bowl, and you got 3 per. So I mean, 3 hours. You got nine candies in 3 hours, and you need 200.
Oh God.
So that's about. Oh, let's see. You got 9, close to 3 hours. So it's basically 3 candies an hour. So 200, divide that by 3. You got 67 more hours to go, buddy.
And he'll get there because he's retired. So, but
He'll do it, but that's not the point.
yeah,
This is someone who has
all the time in the world. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay. So yeah. No. And Dino, just so you know, you can have all my flavonoids because whatever happens, I don't want to know. I'm not going to ever make it to. I'm never going to be able to get no badge or whatever that thing is. I don't care.
Flavonoids and no drop, no trade.
Oh,
yeah.
well, that's too bad.
Don't you guys find it weird that you can't get flavonoids from mushrooms, but you can get wilted scraps, which are leafy? Yeah,
that is kind of funny. Yeah, it's a little funny.
Yeah, that is. Yep.
Peerland, thank you for your commentary. We appreciate that because it's true.
That is a fair point.
Why didn't they just make everything? So basically, not only that, they made the event way too complicated. I do not know why they made it so complicated. There's no point. There's nothing they could say. There's no Blixtev explanation for why it's as complicated as it is. That's why it took him so long and he had to do it on weekends. He didn't have to go there. He chose to take it to this place where it's ridiculously overdone. Like nobody I would be shocked to see what the actual outcome is. Like how many people, I mean, if they only want 5 people to have it, they should just do a random, why not do a random thing? And if you don't want it, you can sell it on the market in your EK.
Or again, if they're going to do something this complicated, and I'm going back to Black Desert on this because they've done it and they did it properly, you make it a game-wide competition, all right, where, you drop a clue or something or a hint, a riddle, whatever. You have to figure it out.
Oh, yeah, they did some nice
It leads you to a spot, and there's another riddle that leads you to another spot, and basically, it's a puzzle. And by the time that's done, first 5 people who figure it out get the prize.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were trying to get at with this one, but I mean, I appreciate that they have a holiday event. They should have a holiday event because it's an MMO, but does it need to be this complicated? Shouldn't it just be fun? I mean, the thing I heard was they were saying, well, we're trying to get people to go out in the world. I said, well,
that's not going to go out in the world. That's going to sit there and get them to stay in and play video games.
Yeah, they're just going to go. Yeah, they're going to go play something else. You should be looking at how do we keep them in our game, not how do we keep them in the world. Nobody cares about the world because the world's really super dangerous. Okay, so you're not going to make them. You're not trying to entice them out to get killed is like dumb because nobody's going to fall for that. They're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe, right? So they're not going to fall for that shit. Oh, you guys can just go out in the world and it'll be fine. And until they get killed by, I was saying this morning, I said, oh no, you can't go out in the world. Farnham's out there. And somebody said, well, he's playing some other game. And I said, you know too much about where he's at right now. And he goes, oh, I just looked in the Discord. I said, it's a trap. He's just got it saying he's playing a different game so he can get you. That's how he's tricking you. Farnham's out there. I know he's out there. And he will get you. He will find you. He will kill you. He's like the best villain in the game. They should just have him be an NPC. Farnham. If you're
streaming.
Yeah, that's why we're in the Crow stream room.
I didn't even pay attention.
Okay. Well, there you are. So, in any event, yeah, we are streaming. So, yeah, I don't understand why that's what I'm saying about the mentality where like some of these guys are in a bubble because they still think like that what they made already is really the right way. It's not the right way. That's why it didn't work. I mean, it failed, right? So,
Yeah.
and I hate to keep bringing that up, but it did. I mean, it just did. And we can sit here and tell them all day long why it did, but they just don't believe. Nobody wants to believe. Even the Dregs guys, when I tell them straight to their face, they go, well, if we just put everything back the way it was, everything would be fine. I said, yeah, we know how that worked out. And they don't get it. They just keep going. You know, it's like, dude, it's not going to work. It didn't work the first time. And don't tell me it's because they put shadows in there. They put shadows in there because the other one wasn't working. They got Skypoint in there because people don't know how to play the game. They come in the game, they're confused as hell, and then they leave. They're like, I don't even know what is this? They don't even know what kind of game it is because it's not even describable. Because everything, like literally everything is RNG. Nothing is explained well. Nobody wants to read guides, and they still think that that's a thing. Like people want to read guides. Nobody wants to read guides. I've already disproven that a million times. People just want to get a little bit of info and go and beat shit up with their sword. Okay,
Yeah,
that's all they want to do.
For a guy, but I absolutely have to.
Well, yeah, later. It doesn't come for, people think that you're going to sit down and crack open a 300-page manual and learn how to play a game. No, we didn't hardly do that in the 80s. We waited for the abridged version to come out. And we bought that.
Nay.
Yeah, they say, nay, we're not doing that. Just get them in the game. Let them go kill stuff. I don't understand why this is such a hard concept. It's just really easy to do. And a lot of other games do it. I just don't understand why the Crowfall guys, they're kind of stuck in this weird, 90s mentality. We didn't even do that stuff in the 90s. We hated it then too.
Oh, I never read the instructions on a game.
No,
Ever.
we used to get what do they call those little guides? They'd sell the little tiny guides with the pictures in them and tell you all the secrets. That's all we cared about was the little secrets. Oh, you can get this if you go over here. Oh, you can get this or you can do that. Oh, you can kill this easier if you do that. That's all we cared about. We didn't care about, I mean, some of the systems in this game I still don't fully understand. We just did a siege this morning and we had no idea what we were doing. I mean, sure, I went through the tutorial 10 times and I still had no idea what I was doing.
Bro, it doesn't tell you how to siege. It spends maybe 30 seconds on telling you how to prepare for a siege.
Yeah, and then
defending.
Yeah, and then that's about it. But then you're on your own, and it's like, okay, well, if you've got friends, then I guess that's a thing. You can, but none of my friends know how to do this shit either. So we're screwed. I mean, we figured it out for the most part, but I think we probably missed on some of the nuances of it. Yeah. Just because there was nobody there that really knew what was going on. So
that's for sure.
I mean, there's that. Yeah. So it's a thing, I guess. Let's so I guess as far as the event goes, do you think you're going to finish it, Extreme?
I'm not even going to start it.
We know Dino's going to finish it, hell or high water.
Like, I refuse to start it.
Dino's going to do it because he wants that Lego toy thing. So he wants that. The
prizes are definitely nice, and I'd like to, but the amount of time it would take to just get one prize.
Well, the effort to even start getting the prize is too much.
Yeah, it's just not worth. The drop rates are crap. The amount of crafting you have to do to get anything done is insane.
Oh, we talked about the hours there, period.
Oh yeah, we talked.
We talked about. He's got a. Yeah, you have to rewind later. Yeah, he's got the whole breakdown of all the money, all the time, all the. Yeah, it's. Thank you, Blixtez, for giving us an event. But can we make it? Can we work on?
Make it doable.
Can we doable? Maybe fun. That'd be cool.
I know I keep going back to Black Desert because that's the only other MMO I've played the most of. I've played quite a few, but for fuck's sake, it's not that hard.
Well, I mean, even Elite Dangerous. I mean, you had a mission, you just do the mission over and over and over or whatever until you get the prize. I mean, that part we can deal with.
How could you have most of the materials for the event even started when majority of the materials are drops? Well, actually, no, I take that back. The drop is Is
And the
flavonoid
drop rate, from what I hear, is terrible.
Yeah,
for
so actually,
the
you
flavonoids.
got lucky there because everything else you should already pretty much either have or be able to buy. Okay, so fair enough there. Well, good
Yeah.
on you, buddy. Good on you.
Hey, good on you, man.
Again, here's my idea of a holiday event. All right, you can have some crafting components to it if you want, but this list of stuff that's too much. You shouldn't have 20 steps to it for one crafting. Take an item. Let's go back to my four-leaf clover example. Make it a drop from anything, whether it be killing things, gathering, whatever, as long as it's not PvP. Make
Everything
it
should
PvE.
drop. Doesn't matter. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, PvE. Make it a drop. You're all leg crafters, and okay, so you are the 1% of the 1% when it comes to this.
You better not tell Dino any of that stuff. He's going to be totally jealous.
Yeah, no offense, but you are not the majority of the player base in this case. Props to you. Like, that takes a lot of hard work, so props to you. I'm not short selling it, but hold on. Getting something to drink. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. And just make the item a drop, all right? Doesn't have to be like a high rate drop, since you're going to have multiple avenues of getting it, but make it a drop. Have an event vendor set up. Take said drop to the event vendor and exchange X amount for an item. And you have it listed as different prices. It's simple. It works. Everybody can do it. It doesn't require more hours than a standard work week to do. So yeah, that's my 2 cents worth.
There you go. I agree with all that. Yeah, the drops should come from everywhere. I don't really care for the part where you have to craft anything. I don't see why you have. I mean, I'd prefer just to have to collect more things. You know what I mean? Just spend more time, because a lot of games, their events have to do with seat time, right? So the seat time should be, if it's over a week or maybe 2 weeks, you give it 40 hours, 50 hours, whatever it is. That should be really all that you need. You shouldn't need to have to also be like a master crafter like poor Pearland here, who knows what the hell he's doing, to actually do an event. I mean, I'm not so sure that the prize they're giving away is anything that would benefit me per se, because it's just it's a crafting buff, and I don't really care about that.
So some of the smaller scrolls, if you go look at the event vendor, some of the smaller scrolls you can add onto your sigil. They do give PvP stuff, like I think.
Like what's the sigil?
Which you're wearing right now. If you look at all your stuff on the right hand side of your gear, left hand side of your gear, left hand, stop. Yeah.
Oh, your badge.
Yeah, your badge.
Oh, your badge. Sigils. Oh, okay. All right.
Those little heart scrolls can be put onto your badges.
Okay.
So, if you read some of them are PvP buffs.
Oh.
And therein lies the problem. You have buffs for PvPers who aren't going to do jack shit in this event because it's 100% gathering and crafting.
Yeah, it's crafting
event. The time required for it is beyond reasonable.
Yeah, I won't get any of those.
Crit and resist all enchants are crazy good. Yeah.
Does it only work on badges, or does it work on the belt and the other one too?
If you read them, it says they're basically add-ons to your badges.
But when they say badges, do they also include accessory slots? No, or
no,
belt
just your
slots, or just the badge slots?
It just says badges, so I'm assuming your badges, sigils, whatever.
We don't need no stinking badges.
Yeah, we don't need no stinking badges. I have all the same. I know you cannot.
What are the green shiny?
These don't stack, so I know that. So everybody that's going to tell me that those don't stack, I already know, but they look cool.
Those green shiny gems and fears inventory are so special. I think you should go out and grab as many as you can. Just run around. Yeah, just run around the world picking flowers. Tell me how many you get.
I say nay.
Yeah,
you're going to want them from me because you're a bunch of crafting shits, and then you're going to want me to give you my hard work.
No, you can't even trade them.
You can't. Once you pick them up, they're yours.
Okay,
I can't take them.
I don't need them.
Yeah, you don't need them. We already knew the answer. We just wanted to hear you say it.
I got this info from Dino already, so he had done the hard work to know that I did not need to go out and pick flowers.
That's nice, yeah.
Because they were crafting.
You could quickly test it out by going into the enchant craft window and see if black slot gives you.
And if you can't drop them or give them to your buddy who crafts, then that's as the devs intended.
Yeah, That's what they intended to do, was make it impossible. Because, yeah, if I could just collect the things and give them to Dino, I'd be down with that. Because I would just give all my stuff to Dino.
It's 100% crafting only for crafters, right?
Yeah, but it does allow for putting buffs on PvP items that you can't trade or sell or...
Which I have neither interest in crafting or PvP.
Yeah, so... Well, I mean, yeah, it's a bonus to your... Not necessarily to PvP. It could be for your
now,
PvE.
if you want to give me something that will stop somebody from killing me in PvP, I'm all in.
Yes, there are things that stop people from killing in PvP. It's the anti-crit, crit, and all resist. But you still got to...
I thought it was just going to be stay out of the game where there's PvP and a crafting simulator. That's usually what I do.
Yeah,
I just
it's a crafting simulator.
I stay out of the crafting simulator where the PvP is.
Yeah. You just want to craft. But you don't craft, so you just you like PvE is what you like.
Yes, I just want to go out and do what I want to do and be left the fuck alone because my PvP skills suck. So I just go out and I'm bending on somebody else's trophy shelf as a small ashtray. I
was gonna let you know too, by the way, buddy. I got a kill this morning, so that was.
Oh, good for you.
I know how to do it now. I can teach you.
Oh wow!
Except you're gonna have to give up one rule.
I don't have any rules.
Yeah, you do. You have one rule that is preventing you from getting a kill. You have to attack first.
Oh no, I don't want to do that.
See, I know, but you need to.
Yeah,
that's the way you're going to get a kill.
No,
that's how I got a kill today, and it was invigorating. It was my first like solo kill on an unsuspecting
person. I'd be a
person.
prick and attack the crafter while he's doing his crafting.
No,
that might be the only way I can.
No crafter. I'm talking about like somebody that was taking one of our sacred outposts. I stopped him.
Now that I would do if I see somebody and I was
all right, I'll teach you how to do it then. I'll teach you what to do.
I would do that.
Yeah, okay, I'll teach you. I get you a kill, buddy. I figured it out. It
would actually be pretty shitty if anybody wouldn't attack the other side. Well, depending on how many's there. If it's just one guy, I could see attacking him.
Oh yeah, it was just one guy. I just waited. I knew he was coming, so I just waited for him. And then once he got into the business, then I went over there and handled him. It was fun. It was great. And then I ran away. He came back for like a rematch, and I was gone. I was like, nope. Bye-bye.
Well,
so sad.
My PvP skills are horrible, so I just quit. I gave up on PvP.
It is because you have to. The circumstances have to be in your favor. It's very difficult to PvP in this game.
Yeah, especially when you're out geared.
Fairly, yeah, especially with the gear, with the levels, with the
PvPers heavily.
So they say it doesn't matter much, but trust me, it matters a whole lot.
The gear absolutely matters.
Because if it didn't matter, we wouldn't have durability on shit that's 3,000 and swords with higher damage on them after they're crafted. Yeah. That's why I know it fucking matters.
Exactly.
Because if it didn't matter, they wouldn't allow you to build that shit.
Do you think he's passionate about this?
He's very passionate about this.
Well, it's a true statement. They tell you it doesn't matter, and then give you the ability to enhance stuff for more damage, to build stuff for more damage or durability, and it doesn't matter. That's a stupid statement. I'm sorry. It's a stupid
well,
statement.
that was one of the things we discussed earlier. Was maybe doing an eye level, item level, or what do we call it? For your gear.
Oh, gear score.
Gear score. Yeah, gear score. Yeah. I know in World of Warcraft, I think they call it like an item level. But
that everyone could see?
No, just that you can't engage in combat in certain areas if your eye level's too high. Because that's what we run into all the time is we go up against these guys with the really high gear score and then we can't even hurt them. Yeah, we can't even hurt them. They like brush us off like whatever, dude. Here, pa-boom, and then we're dead. Like the guineas that can kill you in like 2 hits and shit. There's 4 hits or whatever it is.
Or
that's a little rough.
A guy and it tells me he's knocked down and suppressed, but he's still sitting there after it says he's knocked down and he's not knocked down, but it tells me he's knocked down and it tells me he's suppressed, but he's still fucking kicking the shit out of me when it tells me he's knocked down and suppressed over and over and over again.
That sounds serious. It does.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's things like that. So yeah, as far as the event goes, I think it's going to be a bust in my opinion, but I think there are a lot of people in this game craft. That's why I never get any traction when I try to say, well, we need to have things so that we can find the crafters, and then like nobody will respond to those posts.
Yeah, I mean,
Because everybody's literally a crafter, but some of them can fight really good too, or they gear
Give me
themselves
some
up so high that you
PvE.
can't even
Give
hurt
me
them.
some PvE events, and I'm in.
yeah, the
Yeah, they
PvE
should
in
have
this
more.
game could use some. I know it's supposed to be a PvP game with guild versus guild, and faction versus faction, all that, but the PvE in this game could use
That's
some
if
work
you
as
choose
well.
to
It
go to
needs
the
a lot of
journeys.
work, actually.
Yeah.
And it
So,
needs.
you know,
They need to allow us to play how we want. It is an MMO as well, though. I mean,
that's
they
really
could still
cool,
allow
the sword
PvP in the
out there.
events.
I like that.
Oh
Black
yeah, absolutely.
That sword is cool.
Black Desert does allow that. Like you can still PvP during the events, but most of the time, if you do that, like everybody else is going to gang up on you and kill you.
That is an Athari design. That is a very nice looking sword.
Yep, it is nice. Yeah, but I mean, you can't have the PvP without the PvE. You need that to sit there and progress.
Well,
There's
yeah,
a
you
stream
need
I
that
seen.
to build
So-
stuff.
Yeah. So,
Holy shit,
I guess-
you're close to purple, my friend.
yeah,
You're
my
just a freaking snoosh away from purple.
my suggestion would be up the spawn rates of some of the more popular grind areas, like Tainted Hills, for example. The spawn
Yeah.
rate of thralls there is crap.
Well, you can't ever progress. I mean, you can't really progress. I mean, you could, I guess you could
Hi,
progress in PvP, but the cost of it would be astronomical.
No, because unless you've got a VIP to sit there and mitigate that durability hit every time you die,
Yeah.
your gear drops rapidly.
Oh, when you're in
Like,
PvP, yeah, this is what I was saying. This is like my fourth set of gear. And that sword I brought in was brand new. And
You know,
it's
so
almost dead.
I've noticed since I've lost my VIP, I go through gear a lot faster.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah, when I
faster.
was only engaging in PvE, I would have a one set of War Tribe gear would last the whole season. I'd be like, yeah, this is great. And then now it's like, yeah, now every time I turn around, now I got guys engaging in PvP or going into the battles naked because they forget that the shit's so quick to die when you're engaging in PvP. It's ridiculous. And it's like,
Yeah.
wow, man. There's so many things that need to be looked at, you know. It's just like there's got to be a better balance here between the PvP and the PvE. The PvE players are just every bit as tough. Like they'll be tough, but you can't make all the content all killing each other all the time. Nobody's going to do that.
Yeah.
There's a couple guys, you know, Farnham. I always use him as an example. Okay, and there's certain guys you see, certain streamers are like, we need content, we need content, we need content, and then that's it. That's all they want to do. But then they don't fight each other, right? They're all buddies. So all the ones that want to do that stuff are all buddies. So they're always looking for the Highlanders because they know they could beat him, but they you know that they'll look for him or they'll look for the crafter that's out beating on monsters or trying to take outposts or whatever because they know they can beat them in most cases because most of those guys are PvE guys. I'm a PvE guy too. I mean, I PvP, but
That's what happened to me.
I
went to go
stopped
do-
doing that shit years ago. It still makes my heart rate go 3,000 miles an hour. So it's just one of those things. I shouldn't really be playing this game because it's actually like, you know, I almost
saying-
have to take a nap after
I
each
basically
battle.
gave up myself. Yeah, I basically gave up. I just go out and play a little bit in Sky Point now.
Yeah, I mean, whatever
Well-
keeps you happy. I'm on them to fix. Well, we talked
and
about
none of
Sky
it makes
Point
me
earlier.
happy. None of it makes me happy. I like the
you know.
game. I just get tired of getting every time I go to bend over to tie my shoelace on my armor, and somebody's about, oh, I'm dead. Oh, I tripped and stumbled. Oh, somebody seen me trip and stumble. Attack his ass! He tripped and stumbled.
Yeah, it gets a
He's
little
dead. I'm
little
dead.
dicey out there
dead.
sometimes.
Turn my head, look around the other direction. The guy comes from the right. If I turn my head to the left, he comes from the right. Turn my head to the right, he comes from the left. That doesn't make any difference. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead here. I'm dead there. I'm dead. I'm just dead.
Look, if you ever see Snowy, just run as fast as you can because
I run
she's
from
so
all of them.
fast.
I run from.
She's
guineas.
so fast.
I run
You
from-
can't- yeah,
I run
guineas
from
are terrible.
crafters. I run from crafters.
I tell them now, I'm like, are you guys just let me know when you guys are done seal clubbing so I can go back
Yeah.
and play the
Yeah.
game.
Yep.
You joined.
Because
Thanks,
my
buddy.
my builds just can't. You just can't compete. No matter how I build it. I've
Um,
changed all my builds 1,000 times. I
Yeah.
put bleeds on. I
So-
put poisons on. I've done this and I've done that. And none
So-
of it has made any difference. None of it.
Here's the difference. It's your gear.
Yeah, your gear's low.
It's the
I've
gear.
bought purple gear. I've bought I've spent hundreds of thousands of credits on gear. I shit you not.
Okay, then you just suck.
Okay. There's that. I don't see you logged in.
It's mostly gear, but there is some skill
Period.
involved.
You have to tell me your name on the Discord.
I've practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced, and then I start seeing the final thing that done it for me is when I see my guy tells me that I've knocked him down and suppressed him, which I've done my job, and he's still standing there laying, ha 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 ha. That makes no difference to me, like the buzzing of flies to me. Means
So-
shit. Fuck you. I'm done.
Are you Power Boss, Period?
Probably. I don't know.
I'm assuming because that's the one that just appeared, but I
They
just want
can
to make
tell
sure I
me
give
that
the
there's
right
shit
guy
that
access.
mitigates my moves, and I understand all that.
Oh, I see it.
Mhm.
Never mind.
But yeah, it kind of pisses me off a little bit.
All right,
as
you
you
can come
can't
in.
tell.
You can look around now.
And that's all
So,
I got to say about that.
well, thank you, Highlander, for that breakdown. We appreciate it.
I have to vent somewhere.
You got it. You're live, baby. So,
A whole whopping 8 people, and I think I'm one of the 8.
well, that people, not everybody watches me live. They catch me on the flip flop.
This is true.
All right. So, oops. So, let's see what other topics I had today. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So we're not doing a
Moving on.
4-hour stream if we can help it.
I'm not opposed to that idea. I enjoy
We're
our
in an hour and
conversations.
30 minutes.
Well, I mean, yeah, but so the next thing I had that you guys might be interested in talking about, the RNG in the game. Does that bother anybody besides me? There's so much RNG in this game. It's ridiculous. Everything is literally RNG in this game.
So I think that just kind of comes with the territory of being an MMO. And there is from what I know, there are ways to mitigate the RNG through potions and food buffs and whatnot and getting better gear. What bothers me currently is none of that seems to work unless you're in the dregs.
Ah.
As far as drop rates for items when you're out gathering is concerned. As far as crafting, I think Dino, you'd be better situated to answer that kind of question since you got some pretty good gear going on and you're able to mitigate the RNG a lot better than I am. So I don't know what
are
to
you
expect.
doing? Playing tic-tac-toe or something? Here?
Yeah, you really don't get the crafting anything good until you're at least epic and epic. So
Okay, so the barrier to entry is insanely high.
yeah, the amount of gold and stuff like that and time it takes to get there is unbelievable.
And epic is purple, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. So my opinion then, if you're not seeing any meaningful returns until you get a purple discipline, I'd say that is a bit much, and that's what's going to create a huge disparity between your veterans and your newer players.
Yeah.
Especially with the most recent changes they made with the discipline drops and again the gold costs and all that. So I would sit there and say, I mean, are we talking about crafting or
Sorry.
gathering at this point?
Changing batteries.
I mean, if you're even crafting and harvesting, if you're a new player coming into the game,
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
You're pretty much screwed unless you immediately join a guild.
Yeah.
Which is one thing they're trying to move away from. So how are they going to mitigate that?
Well, they need to put the exploration disc back into Skypoint. I don't care if they put the miners back in. That's not my deal. But they need to put the exploration disc back into Skypoint.
Hey, wait a minute.
You cannot. When it comes to the shadows part of it, you need at least a purple blue belt to even get anything from the thing. Otherwise, if you're using like a basic intermediate hammer or even a basic hammer, you can pretty much break an intermediate hammer on 6 rocks.
Yeah, so Perian's asking, you can't get the exploration discs right now at all?
No, I literally spent
Sky
like 6 hours. I literally spent 6 hours mining or coring in the. Well, I did 6 hours mining and 6 hours coring. And
How many
Skypoint, I
people
never
are
got
surprised
one green
by this?
explosion disc.
So I'm more pissed. So here's one thing I'm noticing is a lot of people aren't realizing this. I'm guessing those are the ones who didn't go to the test server. None of this was in the patch notes. None of it. And that is a
Maybe it's
huge. Huh? Maybe it's what?
Maybe it's bugged.
It's as the devs intended now.
Well, sure it is. Anybody don't believe that shit's crazy. Of course it's as the devs intended it.
So,
Absolutely it is. Are you insane?
you can't call
You
it.
don't have it. What I'm trying to say is that if you don't have an advanced hammer, and you can do just a
We don't know.
purple discipline to use the advanced tools,
Yeah.
you're not going to get anywhere in the shadow because your tools will break so often that you won't get enough materials to make a new tool to do it.
And that goes with your clothes because you're getting beat up constantly by Farnham and all his buddies.
Or you're just making tools to do harvesting to make tools to do harvesting to make tools to you're not gaining anything.
That's best
Yeah.
where I'm at right now.
How dare the devs enforce
it's
you to
like-
go where all the PvP is?
Yeah, but you can't
Well,
call.
What the hell are they thinking?
Yeah, but you can't call it a bug because it was in the test
I
server.
know it's not a bug. I was being
I know.
sarcastic.
I know you're sarcastic, but not everyone sits there and knows your brand of humor.
Oh, sure they do.
Oh, they
Everybody
all
understands
do.
sarcasm.
We do.
Absolutely,
I'm
everybody.
talking about Twitch. I'm talking about Twitch chat.
What I'm
We have
trying
some
to say
people
is that
who have never met you.
This is why I don't
you can
stream
bring a
this
drop
game.
rate.
I would go
You're
all
gonna
the
be
way.
not have too much drop rates in Sky Point as far as the mining and the coring disc and stuff like that goes, harvesting disc.
Yep.
But don't make it to where you can't get them at all because that's just gonna stir people from doing whatever because they have to go do a guild, which a guild's gonna charge them what 7,000 or 8,000 gold per green disc. I mean, nobody's gonna want to sit there and give up all the gold right away. I mean, they're a new player. They're trying to get stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it hard because all the other people, they make these alt accounts and they hurry up and they can transfer everything from their main account to their alt account, make your alt account really, really big. So they can go out and do all the mining and stuff like that. Well, they already have it. But if a new player comes in, he's not affiliated with any guild. He's kind of screwed because if he goes to Shadow at 30, if he has a white disc, but you can't get him in freaking Sky Point anymore. If he has a white disc and a basic hammer, he wouldn't even be able to get through 2 rocks without it breaking.
So Purian says he gets like 500 discs a campaign, so maybe you should hang out with him.
Is he getting it from the conquest points?
I don't know. Just look what he
Oh,
wrote.
good
He
good
wrote in the
question,
chat.
Dino.
I don't know.
Yeah, are you getting conquest
That's
points?
a good question.
And are you grinding in shadow or dregs? Because I did grinding in dregs, and I did grinding in shadows. Where I've noticed dregs, drops those discs like they're going out of style.
Dregs.
Yeah, he's farming.
Dregs, just
for
farming.
hire.
Oh yeah, dregs.
Dregs
Higher.
for higher discipline.
Yeah,
We're not talking
Absolutely.
about dregs people. We're talking about new people coming in the game.
Sky Point.
Yeah, people new to the whole game, doesn't know anything. They're coming in the game. They cannot hardly do any mining or coring or anything unless they join a guild right away.
or they find you.
Oh,
Or they have to go directly to the freaking dregs or the
yeah.
shadows.
You guys keep
Yeah,
going.
When
I'll
they're
be right
new is impossible.
Yeah, and if he's farming the dregs, the drop chances are good in the dregs.
Oh yeah,
Or you have a chance of losing everything you have on the dregs.
Yep.
So I don't know if he's going out farming, getting a discipline, and see somebody kill him and take his disciplines. It's all.
He can join the voice chat. Give him an invite. He just probably can't get into this room, maybe.
But it's all one of those things where you have to figure out what new players need. Because without new players, old players ain't gonna have nothing to do. They'll be fighting each other for eons and eons, and that ain't gonna make any difference in the game. But you have to get at least the basics done in Sky Point, as far as all your harvesting stuff like that done in Sky Point before you move on to Shadows. And then you can get your purple and your blue belt or whatever in the Shadows. But because the dregs, you need a freaking purple in dregs to do anything. I know that for a fact because I went out there with a purple, what was it? Purple Skinner with a freaking blue belt and take it forever to freaking skin an animal.
So I don't 100% agree with that because I did a lot of skinning in dregs, and I probably wasn't going as fast as you. But what is my skinning? My skinning is so I got a purple skinner with a green belt, And I did fairly good.
Yeah, but you know me, I like to freaking do about 7 or 8 hits and I'm done and go on the next one.
Yeah, I know. I know. But yeah, that brings us back to the point of Skypoint may as well not exist. Shadow drop rates and drop quality is that of Skypoint, which is dumb. Dregs is the only place to really go to get anything meaningful, assuming
And
you
you can
don't
lose
die.
and you can lose it all.
Yeah, which I have.
You'd be out there says, okay, I got 9 discs, I can go in to get the get everything thinged up so I could do something, and then somebody kills you and you got nothing.
Yeah, and that's happened to me. There's a reason why I took my
And
character out of
a
drag.
lot of people actually get there, they'll get everything they need to. Some dreg player come by, kill them, and they're done with the game.
Yeah,
Just
like I
like
said,
Purvis said, one kill.
I believe the shadows and dregs and Skypoint should be gear score locked. If your gear score is not so, if you're going into shadows, your gear score needs to be between this level and this level. If it's below it, you can't go in. If it's above it, you can't go in. Same with and
It
dregs. You
doesn't
just
matter. Strip the armor off.
yeah, and drag. Well, no, because here's the thing. Give me one second. If you're importing armor in, your single armor piece can't be over a certain level, and they can code that in. If you sit there and look at what okay, this armor piece is this much, then can't bring it in, or you can't bring in a naked character. You have to bring him. Get rid of the whole export import point system. That's just dumb to begin with.
Yeah, but also I agree with the X point coins without points because it would mean that anybody could just start piling in materials or they could go make a shitload of picks or hammers or knives or whatever like that. And they can export everything into the freaking shadows, sell them off for gold, and just, you know, go buy a bunch of freaking seeds and plant them everywhere.
Let them do it.
It's just a matter of
Let them do that. Then they still
you
have to
have,
sit there and put in the time and effort to build up those forts.
yeah, but you can make white gear freaking easy as crap. You're talking to a crafter, I can.
I've
I
actually seen some decent white gear, to be honest with you. I've seen some pretty decent white gear that people have made that isn't bad
Mhm.
looking gear for white. It's actually surprised me the kind
But
of damage and durability they can make out of that crap.
but it's one of those things where like you don't like the crafting in a new event. The crafting new event ain't
Or like
nothing new.
crafting in the old event, this event, or any event.
all right.
No
Okay.
one's crafting.
Here's a solution to your gear score conundrum. You import any gear you want. Once you put it all on, if it exceeds the maximum gear score for that area, you can't leave the temple. So you can import all the gear you want. And you can mix and match it as long as it does not exceed the maximum gear score requirement, or is not below the minimum. Yeah, it'll check your gear score while you're in the temple and won't let you leave if it exceeds. So if the gear score maximum for shadows, let's say, is 500, and I put on all my gear and the total score is 510, I'm not allowed to leave the moon temple until I change something.
Well, I just figured out you really can't think on it anyway because once you bring something in the shadows or dregs, it's non-sellable. So
Yeah, that's it. I mean, wait, so
it already is. If you
yeah,
bring if you import something, it's already not sellable.
so you gotta, if you want to sell something in showers or dregs, you have to make it there.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think that's not a bad idea since crafting is part of your score base as well, anyways.
And so what they can do is they can bring in, they can come to the dregs stuff like that, but they have to make the stuff in the dregs.
Yeah.
If they come to shadows, they can only make the stuff in the shadows, which is going to eliminate them because they're only going to get purple gore.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah, so let's get back to RNG. So I guess, all right. So
You're gonna need a new sword, by the way, soon. Your sword's about had it.
I guess my thing to RNG is there are ways to sit there and mitigate it and put it in your favor, but the barrier of entry is so high that it they need to readdress that.
Yeah, it's yeah the RNG on crafting is pretty harsh, but if it was made it easy, then everybody be doing it and nobody could sell anything for anything. But what I don't understand is why do you have to make 30 of something to get one thing good? So
Yep, a lot of them.
yeah, well they pretty much
Now it's
the
even
majors
worse
and
since
minors
the
are going to
update.
be they're
All
going to be hard because they're only in the shadows now. So
right. So, Dino, here's a thought that just came to me. You said you don't really start seeing returns on your crafting RNG until you get epic or purple discipline.
yeah,
So, how about I don't know how well this would work, but reduce it to blue because that's a bit easier to get, but at the same time still requires effort. But the catch is even if you use purple materials, the best you'll ever craft is a blue quality item. And once you get purple, you start crafting purple. Have the quality be tied not only to the material, but also capped to the level of your discipline.
yeah, that won't work
Okay, why won't that work?
because then you can't get to this. I mean, you'll have to literally farm certain types or to get even more disciplines. It's okay right now where you can craft the whole crap load of white stuff just
Well,
for disciplines. That's fine. But if you cap it at,
how does that? No, I'm not
50
talking
gears,
about discipline drops. I'm talking about RNG on your crafting.
the RNG and crafting, you know, it's okay, but you have to do. It could be simplified, or have something come out that's actually tell you exactly what to do to get the stats that you need. There's nothing out there for that,
Yeah, it's true.
and it's
Well,
like,
there's spreadsheets out there on various on
Damn,
stuff,
Peter,
but
your
it's not in
knowledge is in
game,
there.
you
so it
know,
should
I'm
be.
I'm nearly 50 years old. I don't give a crap about spreadsheets. Show
Yeah,
me a video. Show me
What?
exactly what to do in the video.
Psh.
Well, nachos can.
yeah, I see what you're saying. The information
Yeah, we feel the same way.
should be more easily accessible in game.
Mm.
Because as far as all I can tell is when I'm going to craft something, it says two soft hides and a hard hide or whatever gives you suede, but it doesn't tell me what suede does. So I can see that more in game, a better in game tooltip would be nice.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely.
Well, even if you go, I mean, you can go to
Hey, is your mic muted?
YouTube or anything like that, and
No,
everything
he's not
about
muted.
crafting certain
Yes,
components. Like if you're
was.
crafting a legend, if you're crafting a sword, or if you're crafting a dagger, or if you're crafting,
Sorry about that.
different type stats on different things. There's nothing on YouTube or anything that tells you what can mitigate this, how much durability you need, and it doesn't tell you none of that stuff. It
Okay.
just says put this in, and craft, and hope you get something.
All right. So, I mean, the only resource I have found, and I'm sorry, Dino, it is a spreadsheet, but it's on Winter Blade's website, and they got all the crafting combinations broken down for you.
Yeah, it's on some website somewhere. That's what I'm saying. That's ridiculous. You should just be able to see that in the game.
So, yeah, I see that there should be a better in-game tooltip for that that tells you, what the different types of stuff you can make do and what adds what stat to what.
I mean, if
I
they
mean,
want to
they
put a
have,
bunch of stuff on the web, that's great. But then they need to it needs to
here's a,
belong
actually,
to
1
Crowfall,
second.
and then they need to be able to link you to it. I mean, Warframe does that. Like if you want to buy stuff, it sends
There
you
we go.
out to the
They
website and
have,
you can buy stuff.
yeah, they have an in-game quote-unquote glossary or Crowpedia, but it's only for your class, promotions, domains, and stuff, and tells you what all the different disciplines do and majors. They need to expand that for everything.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going back to Black Desert because that's the best example I can think of. If you go look at their in-game encyclopedia, it literally tells you everything. What combinations you can use, what they do.
Yeah,
you know?
right. Yeah, that's what I mean. It needs to be owned by Crowfall. It can't be these fly-by-night websites like Peerlin says. They go down or they quit playing or whatever, and then all that info is ancient now, and it's like none of it's even real anymore. Even when outlets put out videos about the game, they still use artwork from like 12 years ago, or not 12, but 8 to 10, whatever. It's a long time. And it's all ancient stuff. Nobody's doing anything new. Everybody's just relying on all this old info, and they come in the game and they'll be like, well, none of this works anywhere near what it says on this website or that website. And that's even if you can find stuff.
Yeah. So I guess for RMG, barrier to entry for this. Okay. So I guess as far as crafting and gathering is concerned, barrier to entry is a bit high to get anything. Well, I guess, no, for gathering, once you get even a green, you do pretty decent.
Well, you start noticing even in combat, you notice a difference when you get up to a blue. That's when you start feeling better. What
RNG is there in combat? Either your skill does something or it doesn't.
Well, getting the disciplines though, doing the majors is way too hard for a combatant. A combatant shouldn't have to be a crafter to be able to put their armor or to put their skills together. So the miners are perfect for a combatant because there's no effort. But when you want to build a major, you have to use 3 different tables to put the materials, and you have to go get the materials. So that means you have to go craft. You have to use I think the blacksmithing station might be the woodworking station, and the rune station are 3 different stations you have to use just to get your discipline to be able to craft. You have to craft parchment paper and coal and some bars and all this stuff. So all that requires crafting. So I don't. Now the miners don't. The miners, you just go out and kill thralls. Now that a combatant is cool with that. Kill thralls, get stuff. Yes. When you start saying, well, you got to go to the table and you got to build this, you got to do that, and you got to have 12 of these and 75 of those and 47 of these, and you got to put them all together, and then a combatant would be like, oh hell no, I ain't doing that. But does anybody sell those things? People do not sell disciplines that are built because it's too expensive.
Yeah, it's like 16K gold on top of it.
Yeah. So no combatant's going to want to do that. I certainly don't. I do it only because I have to, but I also have friends that gave me the materials. If I didn't have that, I would never be able to build the characters at all. I mean, I wouldn't even have blue.
And that puts you right back to the point where if you're a new player, you got to join a guild.
Yep.
I mean,
which is dumb, because you shouldn't have to join a guild.
Be that way. If you're a new player, you should be able to do just about anything you're in the game that you want to, and not have to worry about guilds and all that other kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too, is a lot of the stuff we find on the ground from the thralls or whatever is stuff we don't want. Getting the stuff we do want is almost impossible in many cases. If not, like, literally because it's RNG, could literally be forever before you are able to max out your character to max level. Like this character, for example, is now I was able to do the miners, but like I said, I got 6 guys working around the clock, pooling these things together to get them. But these majors, even with these 2, the Holy Avenger, never see it. Paragon, I see more. The Holy Avenger, hell no. Guardian Rhythm, shit like that, stuff that I use on other characters, you can't get those. I got one that's got a character that I made. I saw some build on the internet, and she's got Spirit Speak. I have never, ever, ever seen a green Spirit Speak ever in the last however months. When did the game open? In last July? It's almost been a year. I have never seen a green spirit speak. Not even one. So how the hell are you supposed to build that character if that's what your character wants to use? You don't. You're stuck making a character you don't want and just trying to live with it. And that's not cool. That's not how MMOs are supposed to work. You build what you want and then you go from there. Now, so this RNG thing with the drops that's one of the reasons why I don't like it, because it's literally you can spend the rest of your life trying to build your character and you may never get there. If you can't continually have progression, eventually you get bored. You know, when you build your character to full and then they say you can play the game now, you only play for a while before you get bored of playing that character. And then you're maybe like, well, maybe I should build a different one. Maybe I want to try this time. Maybe I want to do that. Well, here again, you're stuck forever in this endless loop of never getting what you want.
And that doesn't even address, if we're going to start talking about characters now, what was it? You got, was it 12 races, 11 classes, each class with 3 different subclasses and 6 character slots.
Yeah.
You do the math on that one.
And
if
you
want
just can't do it.
Yeah, and there's the only way to get extra character slot is either delete a character or spend $26 to get 1 character slot. There's no loyalty point system or anything to earn that stuff over time.
Well, yeah, and you're still maxed at 12 no matter what you do. So, I mean, even Black Desert, to use your example, you are allowed to buy extra slots. You just had to pay for them, which is
or
okay.
you can sit there and
or you buy the whole
using
character
points.
Yeah.
And every time but you know, they're also constantly on sale as well because they're dropping new classes and characters left and right.
Well, yeah, they're a little bit further along than Crowfall in that area, but
my point is you know, an extra character slot didn't cost you $26. I think it cost you at most like what was it, $12 or something.
And of course, the most important thing they don't have in Crowfall is boob sliders. Which somebody got a laugh out of somebody.
All right.
That's true. You need boobs and butt sliders. That's very important.
Let's see, post on Discord the cost guide for disciplines and belts that I made. Okay, let's go look for that. That is
Ganeshan with boobs would be hot, dude.
Oh, here we go.
I bet you this game would. If Ganeshans had big boobs, this game would sell like hotcakes. I guarantee it.
Well, you definitely get the furries' attention.
Oh yeah, They don't have a fox class. They need a fox class too. That'd be another one I'd put in right away. That's where they should be. Yeah, big boobs are in, man. Every single MMO nowadays has big boobs in them. We don't want realism. We want big boobs. Come on.
Okay. So for disciplines, just these are these exploration discs, period, or are these like your minors? Because you just got disciplines, belts, and major disciplines. So what is what?
If he's talking disciplines and belts, he's talking about crafting.
Yeah, but he's also got major disciplines listed, and those are combat. So expo first, belts. Okay, so exploration disciplines.
Oh.
So yeah, 0 gold needed for a green one. You actually get them as a drop. 12,000 for a blue, 36 for a purple, 108. So you need a total of 1,000 or 156,000 gold to upgrade to a legendary. And you need 27 disciplines and 39 domination dust to upgrade 1 exploration disc all the way up to legendary.
That's the first one. Now do the belt one. The belt one is
okay. So, yep, belt one. You need 117 total green discs, 65 domination dust, 27 green belts, and for a harvester belt, 377,500 gold. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So yeah, that's a huge gold sink.
And is that without the coin or with the coin?
With or without the what?
Without or with the freaking harvesting coin or crafting coin?
I have no idea. Oh, with coin. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, there's 50k gold you got to put in there when you're going from purple to legendary.
Oh, gotcha.
So, Purian, if you want to try, I think you should be able to get into the stream chat if you want now. I think. I tried to fix something up real quick because we didn't have a way to do that. So anyway,
Hello?
but no, that was me.
No, that was you.
Oh, there
Okay.
he is. He's in. Can he
Yeah.
talk? That's the other question.
I should
There
be
you
able
go.
to talk.
Yep, you
Yeah,
can
there you
talk.
go.
Good. There you go. I found a way to get you in.
Welcome.
So you guys go ahead and debate whatever it is you're debating. You guys are talking crafting. I'm completely lost.
I'm sort of lost on the RNG and all that, so I think this is more like a dino pyramid thing.
I just finished my last crafting profession just recently, and it's horrifying experience. The gold sink.
Yeah,
So
the gold sink is unreal.
Do
And
tell.
on top of all, if you go to try to say, well, I just need 2 disciplines and I don't have enough mats to craft to get to 2 disciplines, you're gonna try and buy them at a vendor and they want 6 to 7K for them, and it deters you anyway. So then you're back out harvesting because you don't want to spend that kind of gold trying to get a discipline. I mean, it's like you need your gold to actually combine the stuff, but yet people want all the gold from you to get them. So it's like I really ever buy disciplines from vendors or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Get it all.
against my guild members from buying disciplines for me because I thought it was too much. You know.
Some of the prices for crafter disciplines, it's absurdly high. Like freaking necro discs are going from 20k to 30k each.
Yeah, it's ridiculous when you could spend 2 or 3 hours going out there farming the highlight and satellite to make the ambrosia and get them yourself. You know, the only people that are selling the discs are already legendary on their discipline and their belt. And they really don't need them, so they try to sell them for 20K gold or something. But that's here or there because I don't buy them anyway because I'm not a person that would go out and buy them. I'd rather find the mats and make it myself.
The necro one I had to buy because I didn't have anybody to farm with.
And
That's
that's
another
another
problem.
that's another thing. There is for a solo player, he cannot go out and do all this kind of stuff because it's mother loads. I'm sure they should make it to where if you have a legendary foreman and at least a purple blue belt or something like that, you should be able to hit mother loads solo.
I wouldn't even say legendary. I would say if you just have a foreman period, you should be able to do that.
No, no,
But have
foreman.
the level of the foreman dictate how long it takes to do it.
Yeah,
So
but it should not be an easy thing to go out there and hit the mother loads because that means all the mats and stuff will be really easy to get.
well, if you got like a basic level foreman, I mean, it's gonna sit there and take you forever to break the mother load, anyways. Even by yourself, even when you're doing the whatever the skill is that cracks it. Is my point.
Well, I'm saying is that yeah, it gives you what 10% more damage or something on the mother load with the foreman.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you have a legendary foreman like I got, it doesn't crack the mother loads. You have to have somebody else there.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
that. I'm
You know,
saying have the damage you do scale with the level of your foreman discipline, so that way, even if you have just a green one, you can still go out and do it by yourself. Because as you mentioned, not every solo player is gonna be able to find a friend to go smack motherloads with them all the time.
Right.
it's like you're out there sitting waiting for somebody to come out and do quarrying or something like that, and you're waiting around trying to find something. Next thing you know, are they friendly? Are they enemy? And 9 times out of 10, they're enemy. They're just gonna kill you anyway. So why not? If a person wants to spend the time, the gold, and stuff like that to get the foreman, to get it to a certain level, they should be able to do mother loads solo and not have to worry about other people there to help them out.
Yeah, not necessarily fast, but should be able to do it.
Sure. That's
And
fair.
that would cut down on these insane freaking prices for all these crafting disciplines and stuff.
So I guess as far as RNG is concerned, what's our consensus on that?
Sucks.
RNG is going to be RNG no matter
Yeah.
what. That's just the way MMOs are. They just,
I'm
I
not
mean,
saying take it out of the game. It's going to be here.
mhm.
I'm just saying, do you think it's properly balanced? Or is the barrier
No,
to entry too high? Or
barrier to entry is way too high in my opinion.
Yeah, the barrier
Barrier
to
entry.
entry is way high for the amount of benefits you get from it. I mean,
There's
you had to craft like say you if I'm making room maker tools because I have legendary room maker tools. I literally have to make like 30. I usually have to make like between 10 to 20 room maker tools to get one decent one out of it. One decent good stats and everything.
and that's with legendary belt and discipline.
Yeah, and that's with using the potions and stuff like that to bring it up higher and stuff like that. You still have to make a bunch of tools just to get one that's halfway decent.
wait, what were your percentages at? You said?
On my room maker,
Yep.
I have to log back into shadows, but they're. I even have a freaking crafting vessel on it, so yeah.
Come on, Dino, come with the stats. What's up?
I gotta get there. It takes that 20 seconds to get out of EK.
Really? That's terrible. They should fix that.
Yeah, why is there a countdown timer for an EK?
I'm not really sure. Other than
Because
maybe they thought you would get into a fight or something in there, even though the PvP's turned off. I don't know.
their their roadmap said something about EK sieges or whatever.
Okay.
The old roadmap or something.
Yeah, well, since that never got in the game, I guess maybe they could just relax that whole timer thing. Till they actually do put it in the game, which they were supposed to a long time ago. A long time ago. That's what this game has got so many things that are half done in it that it's just like, oh my god, this was supposed to be completely different than what it is right
Now,
now.
what stats do you want on my rune making?
Difficulty reduction. Experiment difficulty reduction.
Experimentation, right?
No, it's the additional modifications.
The difficulty reduction.
Experimental difficulty reductions. Mine's 14.5 out of 75.
Okay. On average, every leg crafter is at 2021.
Your crafting sucks, Dino.
Why is mine? Why is mine at, really
It's
low?
because of it's the jewelry dictating a lot.
Oh, you got him in the chat.
You
Well,
need
my experimental difficulty necklace is 3.78. I've got a ring on that's 3.7, 3.47, and another one that's 4.15.
Okay, so that still just further reinforces the fact that the barrier to entry is insanely high. Because even with Lego, you still have to sit there and it sounds like get good results on jewelry crafting, which is a whole nother thing on top of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have all the room making caps and room making experimentation caps, stuff like that. All the coins on my armor. I've got both my weapons, with the enchantments for intelligence,
Yeah, really.
and I'm still only getting 11.4.
It's all tied behind the freaking jewelry pieces because you need to have at least like, if you want to be like a competitive crafter, you have to have each jewelry piece like +4 experimentation difficulty reduction, and that the barrier entry to that is like, it's gonna take you like a month of crafting at least, minimum, to get there, maybe longer, and the amount of legendary ore you're gonna go through is ridiculous.
Yeah,
And
my
you can't do it. You can't do it in shadows. You have to go into dregs. There's no way other way around it.
yeah. See, it shouldn't be like that though. You shouldn't have to have all of a sudden go to dregs to do anything. The game should not be tied up in a bow and you can't do anything unless you go to dregs. That's forcing people to go somewhere where they don't want to go. You know, if a person doesn't want to go to dregs, they just want to play the game casually. This game is not allowing it. It's saying you go to dregs or you get nothing.
So yeah,
That
this
should
game is
not
you
be
have to
that
be
way.
you have to be. It's a full-time job. This game right now in
Yeah.
Dregs.
Yeah. Well, it's a full-time job even in the shadows. We were talking about that earlier.
I mean, my
The-
experimentations at was pretty much capped at 121. So the actual experimentations at 121.
Hmm.
My the actual rune making is at 94.15. It's capped at 115. You know, it's the point where I still have to make a lot of tools to get what I want. I can get the like the 41s and the 42s and the 43s all day long. But if I want to get up to the 45s and 45 and 47, it's like I got to make a whole bunch of tools just to get there. And this is the only character I've done room making on. So my you know, whatever XP they give you for crafting, it should be pretty much on this guy. And my vessel,
So actually, it doesn't make that much of a difference.
well, my general
For crafting.
crafting experimentation on my vessel is 9.47. For my general crafting experimentation on my vessel is 9.47.
Like I craft I'm like leg crafter and everything, and I'm crafting on a white vessel on some of the professions because it doesn't the vessel stats don't really impact it that much, and I'm
So,
consistently getting like over 110% rolls because of the jewelry pieces.
so you're saying you got to have somebody that's freaking Lego jeweler just to do anything in crafting?
Yeah.
I mean, how is a solo player or even a guild with 2 or 3 players in it supposed to get anywhere?
You're not.
You know, they're not
Months of
making it.
grinding.
They're making it more for the veteran players that got everything anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, getting to that point is ridiculously hard, and it's like, in most cases, I think it's not even going to be worth it. For new players, aren't going to want to put in that kind of effort. That's too much effort.
New players they'll come in here and they'll play for maybe a month and they figure out how hard it is and poof, they're gone.
I don't think they even give it that long. I
I
bet
don't
you
think
they
so
give it a
either.
week, and then they'd
Yep.
be out.
My guild is right now training teaching roughly 8 9 new players that joined this game recently. And they've
Yeah.
been playing 2 weeks, and it's super hard even teaching them because this game has so much complicated stuff to explain.
Yeah, it's like when Dino, he wants us to go do something with him, and most of the time we can't because we don't even have the gear required, the lobby gear requirements to even get to where he wants to go. So it gets difficult. There's so many barriers. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what you want to do, there's some ridiculous barrier to get to it. We wanted to craft some trebuchets this morning. It took them almost 2 hours to craft 3. You know what I mean? And it's like, we were down to the wire. We were down to like 20 minutes before the event, and we finally figured it all out. But it just takes that long.
It wasn't that it was hard to craft them. It was just getting the materials needed.
Well, getting what you need and getting and then, so now you want to make a trebuchet, you got to go skinning. I mean, come on, man. You know what I mean?
You got to go skinning to get, was it 50 hide? And then you need, was it 300 wood? So even if you just go out and start chopping knotwood, that's still going to take a while.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Just buying the wood.
And you'll get, and I mean, if you have a decent logging discipline and stuff like that, not what's early on easy.
That's the thing, though. We don't. A lot of these guys, our guys, a lot of them are just combatants. They're not going to frickin' have skinning. I mean, why does all the combatants have to be crafters? I don't get it. That's not cool at all.
Like, I think it was a green logger discipline and a green belt, and I was.
But didn't you get that from somebody though? Somebody that give it to you?
No, that was the leatherworking or woodworking
Oh.
that Nachos gave me. Oh, that's right. You need a woodworking discipline as well. For
Yeah,
that.
it's stupid. That's what I'm saying. Why do you have to do that as a combatant to make stuff? I mean, there's no crafters on the battlefield coming out there to help us. Usually, I mean, not in that level because we need them to fight, especially in the shadows. Because the population's low right now. We can't just have 12 crafters on hand to pop us out trebuchets on demand. We have to figure that shit out on our own. So why not make the craft? Why not make the building of it? Something a combatant can handle rather than we don't have a Lego crafter on hand 24/7 to do all this stuff. And you're only allowed to bring so many characters of the shadows, so you can't bring your whole arsenal of people. And if you're a combatant, you're gonna kind of focus more on the combat side of things. Not necessarily, I better bring my guinea because I might have to do this and I might have to do. You just want to go in there and play. It's a campaign, for God's sakes. It's not your home. You're just supposed to go in there and have fun. You're not supposed to go in here. I mean, I think that's part of the problem with the dregs, and that is that people think that the dregs is home. It's not home. It is a campaign. It is a vacation spot. You're supposed to go in there and have fun and kill each other.
Yeah,
People
apparently
don't get
they're
it.
bored with that.
Yeah, they don't get it. They're just like, oh no, everybody needs to play here. No, we don't need to play there. We don't want to play there. I'd rather be against two other factions than be against everyone.
They need to start playing their own fucking damn game to understand how shitty Drex is.
Oh, they need to play this event just to see how shitty that is. Because I seen Blix in there trying to defend it, and I'm like, dude, no. You can't defend this. Yeah, I'm just like, dude, I'm not even anywhere near the level of these guys, and I can tell you it sucks. You know what I'm saying? So come on. If I know, it's bad.
A shame. It's shit because the rewards are nice, but it's just not worth.
Yeah, not
effort.
worth the effort to get them. Who does he? Yeah, I mean, these guys think that. Like, I don't know who they think plays the game, but it's not. It's not 12-year-olds with, that have mom's credit card or nothing like that. It's a lot of these people that play MMOs are older and they got jobs and kids and things and whatever. And they don't have this kind of time to be spending and doing that. Even the kids don't do that. All the games for kids are like short.
Yeah, they're Fortnite or something like
Fortnite.
that.
You don't spend, 70 hours building your character in Fortnite. You get a character, you go in, you start killing shit. I mean, now I don't expect this game to be like that, but I expect it to be a hell of a lot less taxing than what it is currently. I mean, like I've showed you guys my character a million times. This is just my main, but I mean, of all the rest of them, this one's got the best stuff, and that's not great stuff. That's not even good stuff. It's just what I could find because I'm going through armor like a sieve. That's why my bank is like loaded with any piece of leather I can find. I'm just like, I just need clothing, man. I lose all my clothing all the time. I see Conflict decided to show up today. That's nice. Must be a siege. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I'm just, that's the part I'm disappointed with. It's just, I don't think they're playing their own game. They're definitely not, because they would understand. I mean, I sit here and I do reporting all the time, and I send email, I do like an update. I've been doing after the campaigns. I've been kind of doing a post-mortem for them, but I'm not getting any traction on it, mostly because people have a misconception about the shadows. There's not that many people playing. I mean, once in a while, there's a little surge here and there when they obviously they're bored and dregs today, so they're here. But otherwise, yeah, they I heard this other podcast and the guys kept saying, oh yeah, the shadow was heavily overpopulated on Moon. And I said, no, it wasn't. There was 3 of us in there. The problem is that the sun and the earth had 0. So it looked overpopulated, but there are certain people that can clear the entire shadow all by themselves, don't even need help. Like, and they're dregs people and they're crafters and they've got the highest end gear, and they try to teach us stuff like, oh, you guys just got to do this and you got to do that, and then we go in there with 3 or 4 guys and try to do the same thing, and we can't even do it with that many guys. We're like, how the hell are you doing this? And it's like, we don't even know how they do a lot of this stuff. I mean, today we did a siege and we got through it, but we were fumbling the whole time. It was like 3 stooges in there.
Yeah, lucky no one showed up.
Yeah, fortunately the enemy didn't show up, and that's how we won, but they're just going to take it all back in 3 days, so it's not even worth, it's not worth the hassle of rebuilding anything. The current divine, whatever, the sacrifice, the season challenges, one of them is to destroy enemy buildings during a siege, rank 1 or higher. So that's basically what everybody's going to be doing now. Everybody's going to be busting up all the keeps and shit just to get their seasonal points. So with only 2 weeks left, there's no point in even rebuilding them. So everybody's just going to cannibalize what's there and then leave it, and then it'll be dead again. There won't be anybody there because there's no reason to defend. There's no reason to build. So it'll just be everybody's just going to go get points, which is fine, except why are they giving us all this busy work to do when it's worthless? We don't want to build it up again. We built it up 3-4 times already, and they already came and tore it all down again. So why are we doing that? Why are we spending all these hours? They're basically getting us to do all this work so they can just come and snag all the points from it. So it's just my 2 cents on the whole shadow thing. I like shadows a lot because I don't want to be versus everyone. I want to be versus the sun and the earth, and that's it. Because at least that way, I don't have to worry about having allies. I don't have to rely on nobody. All I got to do is if there's other moon and they want to come, they can come. If they don't want to come, don't come.
Yeah, I think what in shadows right now, as far as active people are concerned, I think total across all 3 factions, I think you could probably 20 people.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's probably, yeah, that's probably a really good estimate, I would say.
And people are saying, well, we didn't get any help doing this, doing that. It's like, where was the help when we needed people last time? I mean, it's a point where now, everybody wants everybody to be on their time, and it's not going to happen.
Well, yeah. And then also they make the mess, right? So they'll come in, the dregs guys will come in, take all this stuff that's out of our time frame when we can play, and then they expect us to help them, and it's like, we can't help you. You're outside our time window, dude. And that's one of the problems is the time windows. Obviously, Extreme and I talked about that earlier. We can't expect the UK guys to be up at 3 a.m. their time playing the game if they got jobs or whatever. We can't expect that from them. And I don't expect that. I don't even expect that from my own guys, So it's like, there's just no way to win that. So it's best to just make it to where smaller guilds can actually do something. Like right now it's very difficult. Like you need a certain number of people. Like even the raid bosses are too strong. Our entire guild got wiped twice by a raid boss. And I mean,
yeah,
that was sad.
We kept it within its, I guess, little arena area.
Yeah.
And somehow we still kited it too far, so it reset.
Yeah, and then it reset right halfway through the fight. Yeah, that was...
What the fuck?
And then he killed us. And then he just turned around and just wiped us.
Just like one-shot everybody.
Yeah, that was so bad.
It was like, what the shit?
And here some of us are doing it solo duo. Those bosses.
Yeah, we can't do that in the shadow.
Wow.
We can't do that.
Some of you guys are able to either solo or duo.
I've never even seen anyone solo a boss in the shadow.
I can do it on my barb if I have an Earth Keeper, a well-experienced Earth Keeper healing me constantly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we just don't have that.
Understanding the classes. It's understanding the classes correctly. It's so much skill required just to do it, and it takes so long. It took us to take it down like 30 minutes or 40 minutes.
Yeah, who wants?
Just 2 of us.
An average person's just not going to go there. You know what I mean? And I don't even expect that they let us kill it solo, but they don't have to make it ridiculously like 4 or
Let me ask
5
this.
guys should just be able to plow through the thing at some point, or at least get it in
What
5
was-
minutes or 10 minutes or something.
What was the reward for killing that?
Yeah, what was the reward? It must have been huge.
Not really. It's the point. It's the reward is farming the resources the mother loads are in the zone on the parcel.
Wait, what? So you don't get anything from killing the boss. You just get the ability
No,
to farm the mother loads.
You get like a few legendary additives and a few other stuff, but not really worth it.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Okay.
If we would have
so
killed
mother
that,
loads
we
are-
would have
but
been
the mother.
pissed.
Okay, so when you kill the boss and you loot the boss, then it starts a half an hour event, basically a buff it gives you, and all the mother loads in that parcel are like sped up respawn timers. So
Okay.
that's
So
the reward of it, basically.
you get a couple additives, and if you happen to have someone who's willing to go with you, you get
You get a crafting buff.
or the mother loads
Harvesting.
respawn faster. But
Yeah.
is the drop rate from the mother loads buffed, or is it just a respawn faster?
Respawn faster. That's
Oh, that is pathetic.
That's a waste of time.
That's no wonder nobody does them. I thought they just didn't do them because they were getting their ass kicked like we were, but it's even worse than that.
I'm kind of glad we didn't finish that. I would have been pissed.
I would have been mad too if I would have saw
We
that
used
was
to
the
do
reward.
them. We used to do them just for the gems, for the abundance of gems, but well, just for the copying.
Yeah,
Load of gems.
that is bad what they're doing with that. That is not good. I don't know who thought that was okay, but that's not okay. I don't know I don't know. I don't understand. I mean, I know I took some time off from testing in pre-alpha and stuff, but man, I didn't know things had gone this far south. It's like, come on, man. It's like the more layers I peel back on the onion, the more I'm like, what the hell happened? Did they drop Blix on his head? What'd they do to him? They hurt that man. We need to get him to a doctor. He's obviously messed up mentally somewhere. You guys broke him.
So what else is on your list of things to talk about?
Wow. Do I still have a list? Let's
I don't
see.
know, do you?
The only other thing I was curious what you guys had an opinion on in the combating area is the 2 windows for the forts in the evening. That's
stupid. That's absolutely stupid.
Yeah. Again, my opinion on this is keeps should only be siegeable maybe once a week. That way, siegeable once a week, and you have the ability to choose what you want to build in the keep to actually make it worthwhile. And fort maybe twice a week.
so the 2 windows in the evening is bad.
Yeah, or hell, even have the forts once a day. Actually, because if you only have forts twice a week, then you're basically just trading outposts, which I guess isn't a terrible
Well,
thing.
what about all the Australians that are going to complain that the siege windows are still off?
Yeah, you still have NA siege windows and AU siege windows. It's not going to make a difference. Just have the forts siegeable once a day, or once every other day. I don't care which, and the keeps once a week, because the amount of time and effort it takes into building those keeps is insane. And half the time, all you're going to build is the walls, the barracks, and the bell tower, anyways. 'Cause everything else is complete and total crap.
Right. Okay. Anybody else want to weigh in on that? Okay, it looks like we're not going to get any more takers on that subject. I think basically, even though we kind of went out of order from what I had written down, I had made some notes. There's another podcast that kept saying that they were the only game in town for that, and I was like, no, actually, there is another. That's us. This is our 10th one. Now, most of it's only been me, but I guess I let you guys percolate long enough that you're ready to talk. So that's good. That's what I need. I needed some more voices to throw in there besides just mine.
Dude, I'll always jump on and talk.
Well, I know, but it's up until recently, everybody hasn't been available. So, yeah, I guess unless anybody else has anything they want to bring up, I guess I can wrap up this part of it. I mean, we've been going. We're at 2:30 now, so we've been going a few.
There needs to be a better way to make ambrosia aside from hitting a
that is a big thing.
minimum.
Yeah. That was in one of my documents I released. Yeah, ambrosia is terrible. Yeah, Yeah, I even said like just make it like a random
I think it,
drop
I just
on
think if
normal.
you have a legendary foreman, you could be able to do it solo.
I don't think you should be able. I don't think the materials have to be gotten from something that requires 2 people.
Yeah, I don't like that whole needs 2 people thing. That's. I mean, I don't care if it's ridiculously hard with one person, but it needs to be in there with one person. Needs to be able to do it. And I know people are, but no, there's not that many people that'll even do it, even if it's solo, because most people wouldn't know what to do with the ambrosia once they got it. So this is a thing that only crafters would care
People are
about.
also lazy.
And they're very lazy. That's right. And so, I mean, why not write the game for the people that are actually playing it and not the ones they wish were playing it, right? So they wish everybody was like this super crafter with the Lego thing, but really there's not that many. There's a few, and they're really good, and people buy their stuff, but they can't even keep up with the demand. The vessel people can't keep up with the demand. There's just too many people want vessels. Everybody wants vessels, and vessels are like all everywhere.
Yeah, and then was I timed it? One, you got to find the right graveyard, and the graveyards only spawn or respawn once, I think, every 7 to 8 minutes. So if you're looking for a specific one,
Well,
Yeah, and it's all RNG
every,
again.
Every day night cycle.
Yeah, they're once a day and once at night, I think, is when they spawn. So,
Yeah.
but that's even that though. That's still RNG. You got to fucking dig 75,000 graves to hopefully get all your feet and your arms and your torsos and your heads and all the stuff you need. And then that's not even the end.
Anything.
Then you got to have more stuff. Then you got to have cinnabar and sulfur
Halite.
and all this other shit. I don't know. I can't remember all the words now, but
Allied.
yeah, that too. Halite.
Yeah, but speaking of digging graves and RNG and all that, not only are you trying to get the right body piece, you're just hoping you get a body piece half the time when I went grave digging and drinks.
Yeah, and then it's got to be the right color too. So if you want them purple ones, boy, you're going to be digging your little self into a lather. 65 shovels later, you might have gotten a head. It's like, come on, man.
That's what you did there.
Oh, wait until you find out that grave digging has one of the most lucrative items in that every Jewel crafter wants, but the drop rate on that is like 0.1 in decimals.
Oh man, yeah, it's too high. I don't know who they thought was going to play this game, but it's certainly a lot smaller of a pool than I mean, I thought just having the PvP on would make the pool small, but they went above and beyond and said, "Oh no, we can do better. We can make it even more difficult to get players." And they did. They did a great job. So, good job, Crowfall team, on making it impossible for most people. There ain't no scrubs in this game, baby. You better know your stuff and do it well and get lucky and never make mistakes and don't get killed like me, because I get killed a lot. Getting killed a lot, I think, just means that you're actually going outside. I think they actually like it, because I did get a thumbs up on a tweet from Crowfall when I showed them that my death toll was over 29. Yeah, they like that. That was the only thing they... Usually when I post stuff, they don't like it because I'm usually making digs at them. But this particular one, I was making a dig at myself. And they like that one, the death count. So they're definitely good with the death count, as long as it's nice and high. And I'm not done. I think I'm up to 34 now or something. How many am I at now? I think I'm good. Let's see.
No
Cardinal
idea.
Fear. 34 deaths. Woo! 5 kills. I'm on the roll, though. Watch out. Now I'm pissed because Extreme's got the same number of kills and less deaths. Your deaths are a little weak, buddy. You need to get on that a little bit.
Well, that's what happens when you don't play for a week.
Yeah. Oh, you get less deaths. That's true.
Yeah.
That does show that I'm playing more, doesn't it? That's kind of a tell, actually. Like, ooh, he's actually, yeah, he's playing a little bit too much. He should probably only have 5 deaths. That'd be better. But anyway, thanks, guys, everybody, for coming out today. I guess we'll wrap it up, unless anybody's got anything last minute. No? All right.
I'll think of it as soon as you ended the stream.
Well, we can have
I
another
actually
stream.
to make it more newer, player friendly.
Newer player friendly. That newer player friendly is a good thing, Dino. Thank you. That is it's a beautiful saying. I'm gonna make a meme about that. Yeah. So anyway, thanks guys. I'm gonna wrap up this stream. I will be back in the Discord shortly, but for now, take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you guys on the internet and you guys in the Discord in a little bit. Oops. Oopsies. I didn't mean to do that. But in any event, here we are. So, guys, that's all I got for today. It was kind of a long one, I know, but I'm sure we could have went on for many, many more hours. But we got a campaign to run. So don't forget, if you want to play with us and obviously join us in our Crowfall fun, check the links below the video in the About section on the Twitch and under the video on the YouTubes, and come and join us. We're here all the time, and we want you. We need you to come help us, Moon, terrorize the Earth and the Sun guys, because they need it. They need that terrorization. Is that a word? I don't even know. So, guys, thank you. Like I said, always, and if you want to try the game, there's a link below the video for that as well. You get 10 days for free. We make it sound really hard, and it is. But if you want to challenge your brain a little bit, come join us. I appreciate you. We'll talk to you guys next time.